I think about man coming out and broken. And a man start my window, coming out and thief the computer. You see the next computer when me have? Every night. Me take the computer and put it at the bag and put it somewhere where me know it's not thief now find it.
I can't reach it.
So me I say to you now, what is the law of attraction? That show me say, when I did leave my computer there, and I not think about no thief, I not think about nothing, a man come thief my computer. But no, he went to find it very difficult to come find my computer, even though I think about the thief.
I will tell you something.
I think about the thief, you know. That is why I take up the computer every night.
Yeah, and even before that, you were still thinking about the thief. You know, I know you were still thinking about the thief before him come and thief your computer the first time.
Yeah.
Did you lock your door that night?
Lock, of course.
Why did you lock it? What were you locking out? Why did you lock?
But it's not me door him come through. No, not a foolishness.
No, sense. Yes, I don't.
That make
no, but I'm
sense.
trying to tell you how simple it is.
No,
you know why I sound like foolishness? You know why I sound like foolishness, Muta?
No.
Because the truth lies in simplicity.
No,
and the fact every day that you, every night...
You lock your door.
No, people have a problem with me now because I leave my door open.
You lock your business door. You lock your business door.
No, I have a problem. Me personally, Betty have a problem with security.
No, but whether you have a problem or not, I'm asking if you lock your door.
No, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
You don't lock no door.
I want to tell you right here now, people always looking for me. I come into RFM tonight and it's your brethren have to lock up my car.
No, but I
don't know about other people, but me personally have a problem with that. But you know why? But you know why? You know why is it you believe that the door has to be locked?
No, because the door.
Who tell you say you have to lock your door?
Because door is locked and
why is the door there? Why is the door there?
It's not I put the door there.
Brethren, why is the door there? Why you lock your door every night?
Listen to me now.
Why you lock your door every night? Apart from Barry.
Good argument.
Betty, you see what I say? No, you see what I say? What you say? So nice.
It's not so nice, Muta. It's the simplicity of the truth, Master. Because you have already from long time decided to ingratiate yourself in the element of fear that you might get robbed if you log in and put on burglar bars. Don't tell me that. And listen, and you do it, and let me tell you something, you never even thought about it. Because it is such an automatic thing for us to do now. You understand me? It is just such an involuntary reaction to our mindset that you do have a problem with it.
Betty, no house for me have a burglar bar.
Actually, the only reason why I lock my door is because my house cold.
Me not have no burglar bar for my house and me bill. When me I try to say, when me live in
no, but you have a door and you have it there and you lock it.
So
and you don't have you can shut it if you want to keep out the elements. You don't have to lock it.
So I must accept no.
You lock it because you're keeping out something else. You shut it because you're keeping out the elements. Why did you lock it?
The reality of the situation, because I lock my door, a thief come rob me. That is what you really are saying.
All right, you know, in all of this, we need wisdom.
What the sister say? Where your sister say? Tell me what your sister say.
I'm going to ask you a question. Year before last, right, on the 3rd of January, I was driving along Waterloo Road, and right by South Avenue, right, a car was in front of me and just slipped over into the left lane, right, and so suddenly that I break up and I ended up in the back of this van. And then somebody ran into my back.
It is never ever about the story that is presently happening or the physical thing that is.
So can you
it is always about. It is always about.
Something to me. Explain something to me.
It is always about. It is really seriously always about. The movie screen of life that is constantly playing, and why is it I'm in the
scene? And I'm asking you a question now. I'm asking you a question now. I am asking you a question.
And you need to learn from that scene. You need to move
yourself. What must I learn from it? That's why I'm asking you.
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to say to you.
I don't know what I'm trying to say.
No, what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say to you is that I don't know what you must learn, but I want you to know that there is something to be learned.
You know what I learned from it?
That's what I want you to know.
If you want to talk about learn, but I really never ever learned nothing from it more than say the brother lick me.
No, but I'm trying to tell you that there is... Well, that's just my brethren, that's exactly what consciousness is, and that's what the elevation of awareness in the human spirit is. That you need to realize is not just about the man licking you. It is about seriously wondering why are you in that situation.
No, if I'm going to think like where you are, so I'm going to get mad.
Well, maybe I'm mad.
No, but I'm going to get mad. I'm going to start.
Maybe I'm mad. But that's the whole thing. That's why I said consciousness. That is why I'm saying. That's why I'm saying. We just said earlier in a Muta that through the elevation, in order to be elevated and in order to realize consciousness is a very painful thing.
No.
You understand me? The process is a very painful one. Sweetheart, it is that tedious.
Betty, me understand
the process is that tedious.
But you know what it sounds to me like? I'll tell you exactly what it sounds to me like. another version of the Christian mindset.
No, sir.
Yeah, you know why?
No, you know why? It's another version of the Christian. You know why it's not another version of the Christian mindset? No, because guess why? Guess why? Because guess why? In you asking yourself that question, in that moment, the question is that, okay, all right. Wait, no, man, wait, on. What? No, this has happened to me. This has happened to me. It is making me feel this way. Wait, no, it is making me feel this way.
Yes.
Why is this making me feel this way? It's not a Christian mindset, because you know what a Christian is going to do right after that? Says the devil do it.
You know what?
In consciousness, there is no bad, there is no good. It just is.
Yes, and
in the understanding of that is the understanding of self.
Yes.
And as I said to you before, it's a very difficult thing.
But we are not in the world of self.
No, but we are in the process of being in the world of self. If in fact, because every single thing that happened at that moment was about you.
Can I ask you a question now?
About your ego.
So I could ask the question now. The brethren who lick me.
King of kings and Lord of lords. Selassie is King of kings and Lord of lords. Conquering Lion of the tribe of Judah. I rebuke all negativity. I rebuke all animosity. I rebuke all of the envy. And just shine his light on me. Say, I rebuke all of the hatred, and I rebuke all of the greed. I rebuke all negativity, and just shine his light on me. Just call me your friend. I'm a camel in the desert. I'm a lion in the field. I'm of the tribe of Judah. I'm a Nazarite for thee.
Okay then, greetings to ones on ones. Welcome to Bless Radio, and again, this is the Jammarster show. And earlier on, we heard the recording of the great man Muta, and also we had just sent talking about, you know, my roots. So, what's gonna take place? We'll be touching the whole thing about health. We're gonna have Vasco Stevenson will be joining us very shortly, hopefully. And then we're definitely going to have Lyndon who will be talking about diabetes. You know, Vasco's a man talk about prostate cancer. And then we're going to open the live link for those who want to contribute and to reason with us. So, again, you're locked into the big one. It's the Jammarster show on Bless Radio.
My roots, my roots, my roots. I can't forget my roots, my African roots, my Ethiopian roots. My roots keep me strong. My roots keep me holding on. My roots prevent me from getting thin, and my roots is where my life begins. My roots is my identity. My roots is what's keeping me. My roots are never dry. My root is my reason why. My roots can never be washed away. My roots is always here to stay. And my roots is not meant to be combed. And my roots tell me I found my home. My roots is where I belong. My roots identify what's wrong. My roots is my only weapon. My roots keep me holding on. My roots keep me growing without me even knowing. My roots is what's in my heart. My roots ain't no poison dart. My roots let me say what I mean, and my roots let me mean what I say. My roots keep me growing strong, and I admire what it's showing. My roots give me strength, so I'm no longer bent. My roots give me strength, so I'm no longer bent. My roots give me strength, so I'm no longer bent. Selassie, Jah Rastafari. Greetings in the name of the Most High. Selassie is King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Selassie is King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Selassie is King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Conquering Lion of the tribe of Judah. I rebuke all negativity. I rebuke all animosity. I rebuke all of the envy. And just shine his light on me. Say, I rebuke all of the hatred. And I rebuke all of the greed. I rebuke all negativity. And just shine his light on me. Just call me.
You would never see why it is. In fact, you were a contributing factor to that connection being made with that.
Like what?
No, hold on. You were the contributing. Let me tell you what. That is why the idea of higher consciousness is such a difficult process, because you know what it is? It's like actually this idea of living in the moment is like sitting down and looking at your life continuously, like you're looking at a television screen, and evaluating your every thought, every movement, every action, constantly. Hold on. And you see, if you're not doing that, then it means that you are not living consciously.
You're not alone in the world.
No, hold on. I'm making a point now why it is that you have to take responsibility and how how it is that you actually can take responsibility and see what it is that occurred this years, moments.
Beautiful.
No. That is why I'm telling you the idea of consciousness is such a difficult one.
No, but you're not. But that is not reality, Betty. Betty, look here.
You know how difficult that is?
Betty, wait.
Self-observation. It's self-observation. Continuous self-observation.
Let me show you the opposite of this thing I just talked about the car a while ago. Me in my house, me not thinking nothing but no thief. I have my computer, I left my computer on the table every night. I not think about man coming at my house and broke it. And a man tap my window, coming at the house and thief the computer. You see the next computer me have? Every night. Me take the computer and put it at the bag and put it somewhere where me know so no thief now find it.
I can't reach it.
So me I say to you now, what is the law of attraction that show me say, when I did left my computer there, and I not think about no thief, I not think about nothing, a man come thief my computer. But now, it went to find it very difficult to come find my computer, even though me I think for the thief.
I will tell you how simple it is.
I think for the thief, That is why I take up my computer every night.
Yeah, and even before that, you were still thinking about the thief. You know how I know you were still thinking about the thief before him come and thief your computer the first time?
Yeah.
Did you lock the door that night?
Of course.
Why did you lock it?
What
were you locking out? Why did you lock?
But it's not me door him come through. No, not a foolishness.
No,
sense.
Yeah, but I'm trying to tell you how simple it is. You know why it sounds like foolishness? You know why it sounds like foolishness, Muta? Because the truth lies in simplicity. And the fact every day that every night.
You lock your door.
No, people have a problem with me now because I leave my door open.
You lock your business door.
No, I have a problem. Me personally, Betty have a problem with security.
No, but whether you have a problem or not, I'm asking if you lock your door.
No, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
You lock no door.
I want to tell you right here now, people always looking for me. I come into Area FM tonight and it's your brethren that lock up my car.
No, but
I don't know about other people, but me personally, I have a problem with that. But you know why? You know why is it you believe that the door has to be locked?
No, because the door.
Who tell you say you have to lock your door?
Because door is locked and
why is the door there? Why is the door there?
It's not I put the door there.
Brethren, why is the door there? Why you lock your door every night?
Listen to me now.
Why you locking your door every night? Apart from barriers.
Good argument.
Betty, you see what I say? No, you see what I say? What you say? So nice.
It's not so nice, Muta. It's the simplicity of the truth, Master. Because you have already from long time decided to ingratiate yourself in the element of fear that you might get robbed if you log in and put on burglar bars. Don't tell me that. And listen, and you do it, let me tell you something. You never even thought about it. Because it is such an automatic thing for us to do now. You understand me? It is just such an involuntary reaction to our mindset that you do have a problem with it.
Betty, no house for me have a burglar bar.
Actually, the only reason why I lock my door is because my house cold.
Me not have no burglar bar for my house and me bill. When me I try to say, when me live in.
No, but you have a door and you have it there and you lock it.
So
and you don't have you can shut it if you want to keep out the elements. You don't have to lock it.
So I must accept no.
You lock it because you're keeping out something else. You shut it because you're keeping out the elements. Why did you lock it?
The reality of the situation. Because I lock my door, a thief come rob me. That is what you really are saying.
All right, you know, in all of this, we need wisdom.
What the sister say? Where your sister say? Tell me what your sister say.
I'm going to ask you a question. Year before last, right, on the 3rd of January, I was driving along Waterloo Road and right by South Avenue, right? A car was in front of me and just slipped over into the left lane, right? And so suddenly that I break up and I ended up in the back of this van. And then somebody ran into my back.
It is never ever about the story that is presently happening or the physical thing that
it is. So can you
explain
something to me? Explain something to me.
It is always about, it is really seriously always about the movie screen of life that is constantly playing, and why is it I'm in the
And I'm asking you a question now. I'm asking the question now. I am asking you a question.
And you need to learn from that scene. You need
what
to move
must I learn from it? That's why I'm asking you.
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to say to you.
I don't know what I'm trying to say.
No, what I'm trying to say to you is that I don't know what you must learn, but I want you to know that there is something to be learned.
You know what I learned from it?
That's what I want you to know.
You want to talk about learn, but I never ever learn nothing from it more than say the brother lick me.
No, but I'm trying to tell you that there is... This is my brethren, that's exactly what consciousness is, and that's what the elevation of awareness in the human spirit is. That you need to realize is not just about the man licking you. It is about seriously wondering why are you in that situation.
No, if I'm going to think like where you are, so I'm going to get mad.
Well, maybe I'm mad.
No, but I'm going to get mad. I'm going to start.
Maybe I'm mad. But that's the whole thing. That's why I said consciousness. That is why I'm saying. That's why I'm saying. We just said earlier in a muta that through the elevation, in order to be elevated and in order to realize consciousness is a very painful thing.
No.
You understand me? The process is a very painful one. Sweetheart, it is that tedious.
Betty, me understand
the process is that tedious.
But you know what it sounds to me like? I'll tell you exactly what it sounds to me like. Another version of the Christian mindset.
No, sir.
Yeah, you know why?
No, you know why? It's not a version of the Christian. You know why it's not another version of the mindset. No, because guess why? Guess why? Because guess why? In you asking yourself that question, in that moment, the question is that, okay, all right. Wait now, man, wait now. No, this has happened to me. This has happened to me. It is making me feel this way. It is making me feel this way.
Yes.
Why is this making me feel this way? It's not a Christian mindset, because you know what a Christian is going to do right after that? Says the devil do it.
You know what?
In consciousness, there is no bad, there is no good. It just is.
Yes, and
in the understanding of that is the understanding of self.
Yes.
And as I said to you before, it's a very difficult thing.
But we are not in the world of self.
No, but we are in the process of being in the world of self. If in fact, because every single thing that happens, it is never ever about the story that is presently happening or the physical thing that it is. It is always about.
Explain something to me.
It is always about. It is really seriously always about the movie screen of life that is constantly playing, and why is it I'm in the scene?
And I'm asking you a question now. I'm asking the question now. I am asking you a question.
And you need to learn from that scene. You need to move yourself.
What must I learn from it? That's why I'm asking you.
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to say to you.
I don't know what I'm trying to say.
No, what I'm trying to say to you is that I don't know what you must learn, but I want you to know that there is something to be learned.
You know what I learned from it?
That's what I want you to know.
You want to talk about learn, but I never ever learn nothing from it more than say the brother lick me.
No, but I'm trying to tell you that there is... My brethren, that's exactly what consciousness is, and that's what the elevation of awareness in the human spirit is. That you need to realize is not just about the man licking you. It is about seriously wondering why are you in that situation.
No, if I'm going to think like where you are, so I'm going to get mad.
Well, maybe I'm mad.
No, but I'm going to get mad. I'm going to start.
Maybe I'm mad. But that's the whole thing. That's why I said consciousness. That is why I'm saying. That's why I'm saying. We just said earlier in a muta that through the elevation, in order to be elevated and in order to realize consciousness is a very painful thing.
No.
You understand me? The process is a very painful one. Sweetheart, it is that tedious.
Betty, me understand
the process is that tedious.
But you know what it sounds to me like? I'll tell you exactly what it sounds to me like. another version of the Christian mindset.
No, sir.
Yeah, you know why?
You know why it's not a version of the Christian. You know why it's not another version of the No, because guess why? Guess why? Because guess why? In you asking yourself that question, in what that question? Moment, the question is that, okay, all right. Wait now, man, wait now. What? No, this has happened to me. This has happened to me. It is making me feel this way. Wait, no, it is making me feel this way.
Yes.
Why is this making me feel this way? It's not a Christian mindset, because you know what a Christian is going to do right after that? Says the devil do it.
You know what?
In consciousness, there is no bad, there is no good. It just is.
Yes, and
in the understanding of that is the understanding of self.
Yes.
And as I said to you before, it's a very difficult thing.
But we are not in the world of self.
No, but we are in the process of being in the world of self. If in fact, because every single thing that happened at that moment was about you.
Can I ask you a question now?
About your ego.
So I could ask the question now. The brethren who licked me, he was in the negative also, right? Because he licked me. So he must negative him, you know?
But listen, the secret.
No, don't answer.
The secret. Let's go back to the secret. The secret says, you know, the secret says that don't worry about what another man is thinking or feeling or doing. Just worry about what your condition and situation is.
I am talking outside. I am talking outside of the two forces now. I am talking about here is muta over this one, here is a man over this one. I'm not talking as muta now in the accident. I am saying to you, this man who clicked me, obviously he was in the negative. Based off of what you say.
Well, no,
that's not what I said. I said there is no negative.
Right.
What it is what it is. And if it affects you in a certain way. But you can't speak for the brethren and stuff.
Yeah, but
you don't know. Maybe him come out and realize so that it affects him like rot. You don't say who Ali whatever rook and rot. Everything cool. You understand me? You don't know. How did it affect you? How did it affect you?
Betty, but I tell you how it affects. No, Betty, I'm not talking about muta now in the accident, you know. I'm talking about two different entities outside, you know. You say the reason I must check, I must know, say, is I bring it down on myself.
And if I was having this conversation with him, I'd be telling him the same thing.
Yeah, that's what I am saying to you. He was in the position.
In every event that takes place, there's always some message or something to be learned from it.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Call it negative or positive, call it whatever you like.
Yeah.
So as a result of this guy hitting you, right?
Yeah.
There must have been something for you to learn from the event. No, you might not have picked it up.
Yes.
It doesn't mean that the message wasn't there.
Yeah. All right. So we're not going to deal with no. We are now insinuating and asserting and trying to figure out that there is a message there. And I am
in every event.
Yeah,
not only that.
All right.
Everything.
All right. And I am saying no. If it is I that is bringing it down on myself because of my thinking, or at least Muta out there is bringing it down on himself because of Muta's thinking. Muta never looking at the man, you know, but Muta bring it down of some past life, some 2 years ago he was doing that and that. The brethren who licked me, he also must have been in the same negative thinking.
Something for him to learn as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. He might be in the same negative thinking, and you're both there. You're both there to help each other along the way. But only if you're a conscious being, you realize that.
Yeah, and because we're not dealing with conscious beings now, we're trying to attain the conscious beings. And I'm saying to you, if this brethren is in the negative and doing this thing, and this thing happen, him in the wrong, you know, according to the law of the road. Him in the wrong.
Yeah.
So him is coming and doing something in a film consciousness that is negative and do something conscious that is negative by licking my car. All right, now. According to this law that is proposed now, that suppose him was in the positive and I was in the negative, would he have hit me?
This is why it's difficult to say what. This is why I would.
All right, no. So is it seem difficult to say that down the line? Yeah.
It's not difficult to say, Keith, because it's gone back in the same devil and God.
No.
It's no negative, and what I'm trying to.
Yeah, but there is negative. There is negative.
No.
In the consciousness, there is none. That's why I said eliminate God and eliminate devil.
That's the point I'm saying. That there is absolutely nothing negative about anything at all that ever happens to you ever in life.
Yeah.
It is the way.
That is beautiful
it is
to
the
say.
effect that you have. If it is the effect that you have allowed it is how you have allowed yourself.
Betty,
it's the attitude that you have.
I am totally saying that it is what you are saying, that I am agreeing with what you're saying because it is a nice thing to agree with.
No.
Listen to what I am saying. I am saying
the reality.
I am saying.
No, the reality.
Okay, then hope people can ravel the reasoning with Muta, Betty, and the other individuals then. Yeah, some powerful reason I'll go on. So if you want to come and make some comments, feel free to do that. See? Okay, then so we're jamming to the Jammarster show. We're expecting a call from Sister Rena. She'll be phoning us in exactly in hopefully in a couple minutes. See? And talking about an event was taking place this weekend coming. So we're just waiting for her to come in upon us and let us know what is happening. Also expecting a call from Vasco from 7 o'clock talking about the prostate. As you know, he's a well-known lecturer, talk about prostate cancer, diabetes, health, spirituality. He's a man who can talk about many subjects, politics, religion. So he'll be sharing information about the whole thing about the prostate.
And because you are saying now that because it hit me, I am also in the negative. I am saying to you, suppose the brethren who hit me was in the positive. And I was in the negative.
Bear in mind, wherever there's a negative, there's a positive. All right?
That's what I'm asking. Suppose the brethren.
It's one of the same.
No, but it is not a question of negative or positive at all, Muta. Hold on, Muta. Let me just make this point.
I understand, but it is eliminating the negative and positive.
It is not a question of negative or
remember,
positive.
I just asked the question about eliminating good and devil, you know.
So eliminate it then.
You remember, excuse me. I bring up the elimination of the negative and positive, you know, the God and the devil thing, you know. Remember, I bring that up. All right, so I am understanding eliminating the negative and the positive because I wouldn't have I wouldn't have brought up that if I never understand it.
Right.
So now I am saying to you, for the word that we are using, positive and negative, we want to eliminate it. All right. So what was the brethren frame of mind who hit me?
All right. There is
and my frame of mind. Suppose the two of us frame of mind was not in the same context. That's what I'm asking.
No,
obviously
there was some relationship between you and the guy.
Of course.
Brought you together.
There is a relationship.
There is a relationship.
The road and the bad driving.
Hey, Muta, you know you're smart. Let me tell you why you're smart.
What?
You know, what you did a while ago was really, really very clever.
What?
Because everyone in life knows that the hardest thing for anybody to do is to prove a negative.
Prove a negative?
Prove a negative. They can't prove a negative.
No.
You cannot prove a negative. And what you're asking us to do here, by the line of your argument, is that you're trying to ask me to prove a negative because you're saying...
No. I am saying, I am eliminating the negative and the positive.
No.
I am saying that...
No. That's not what I'm hearing.
All right, well, I am telling you now that I am eliminating the negative and the positive. Because I am understanding eliminating the negative and the positive.
Okay, now that we have done that.
Yeah. And there
was something for both you and the guy to learn from that experience.
Yes.
Something.
Yes.
Whether or not either of you learned anything is another question. But it happened because there was something...
But you say I bring it on for myself because of law of attraction.
Yeah, because you needed to learn something. Yeah, so I don't need to look at it as negative or positive.
Look here,
the law of attraction, bring it on me. And the law of attraction, bring it on him. Yeah. So there's laws of attraction that is bringing things on people.
Yeah.
That them don't have control over.
Consciously.
I mean, no, Muta.
Consciously.
If the law, there's a law there.
Consciously have control.
Look here, the law don't save you, no. The law kill you. Because of the law that you know say wrong and right exists, you know. I am saying that if the law of attraction is carrying out today, that means that my destiny is predestined already. And this guy's destiny is predestined already. I have no control over the law of attraction. So if the law of attraction connect the two of us because of some greater good that is supposed to happen, then I'm just an instrument and a web tool in this law of attraction. It's the same concept that the Christians have in a different way.
Well, this is why we chant Namyo Horenge Kyo to change that.
I don't chant it. The brethren don't chant it. I don't think Betty chant it. I don't think our sister chant it.
No. Well, this is the difference.
No, Maringe.
We want to encourage
I
more people to chant.
Make I hear the younger voice again. The younger voice again.
I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm sure that a whole lot of people out there don't have a care either.
Yeah.
So it's accident thing, but when I was asked to come, my understanding was that, younger voice, the whole secret, the whole thing. And part of the secret, part of everything that people doing and all of that is to make them life better. Yes? Right. So on whatever level, whether it's physical level, spiritual level.
Yeah.
And I personally believe in what Haile Selassie said, that spiritual advancement as well as material advancements must keep pace.
Balance.
Right?
Yeah.
You must have the balance somewhere. Now, my material advancement not so up there. My spiritual advancement kind of there, because from an early point I decided that I wanted to be a mother, and I got that. And there's a certain level of peace that I've gotten with that. Right? But there are other things that's coming that, slow in coming, let me see. That I would have liked to pick up. Right?
That is the answer.
Right?
So there are certain things that you can change, certain negatives that you can change.
Part of the chanting, they don't want to mispronounce it, and the prayer to Jesus Christ, and all of those things is a sense of faith, right? And you have to believe in that. And part of it too is that as much as I found peace with my son and all that,
I rebuke all of the hatred, and I rebuke all of the greed. I rebuke all negativity, and just shine His light on me.
Just try.
No, but they don't going to come in, because if I don't believe that it's going to work, they don't.
No.
Yeah, because if you
You have to believe.
I can't laugh the secret.
I want to know how the secret can work for me.
Yeah. Okay. See, a young person asks you how the secret are going.
Well, look here.
I just said elimination.
How she must do
anything.
She must do it.
She needs to just know. Aisha is a Rasta. Aisha is a Rasta. And if you understand Rasta, you understand the secret. Because everything the secret.
Yeah, but Rasta have don't.
No. I tell you, I don't know. I'm sorry. Maybe it's true. I don't know. I can never ever say if anybody's Rasta.
No, but I grew up to understand that.
Greetings.
Greetings.
How you been? You good?
I'm well, thank you. Thank God. How are you?
Give thanks and praise to the Most High, you know?
Amen.
Yeah, man, give thanks.
Definitely.
Well, listen, I want to go straight to the chase, because everybody talk about this amazing event what's going to take place this weekend, and we must let people know what's going on, man. You keep them things a secret. I don't want people to know what go on in the town there, sir. Where are you with? See?
No, nothing like that.
All right. So, let people know what go on, man.
Yeah, man. So, it's basically the launch of H&J. So, our natural juice range is being launched now. And this is this Saturday, the 28th of July. And it's going to be at the Old Edmontonian Football Club. This is on Hounsfield Road in Edmonton, N9.
So which part Edmonton? Because I'm trying to picture which part of this place, you know. Let people know, because, yeah.
All right. So when you pass Edmonton bus station.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, like you're going towards Enfield.
Yes.
You keep going, and then just after you pass Bouncers Road, that's all. You're going to keep going straight until you pass the little mini roundabout.
All right.
And then it's the third left after the mini roundabout.
Okay then.
There's a Greek restaurant on the end of the road.
All right. So
man, it's promising to be a great day by the grace of God. Everything is looking up. We got water slides, bouncy castle, make your own smoothie bike, so you know you can pedal and put your fruits in and get your own smoothie.
So what time it start?
We're starting from 11.
From 11 o'clock.
Finish at 8.
And finish about 8. So it's a whole day thing. All right. And
oh dear.
So what gonna take place? Football, sports.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of activities. Apart from bouncy castle and water slide, we also have Jenga. We've got dance competitions.
Okay.
We have five-a-side football. We have a few trophies to hand out, as well as gift baskets.
So it's a big thing this month. So no like. So I keep them thing there quiet, man. What am this one here? Yeah. Hey, people.
Oh,
no, I'm upset with you, man, and people upset because you say, okay, I keep them thing quiet. I keep them thing to yourself. See, people for know about them thing there and come out and full jar themselves. See?
Definitely. Music is being played by
Jammers.
DJ Up and Live.
Okay then.
Jammers is getting a little set as well. Yeah, Jammers and Mr. Up and Live.
Okay.
We're working it out. I'm looking forward to it. I'm telling you, I might dance till I'm tired.
all right. You know for do your thing, man. Okay, and there'll be stores there as well. Will there be any stores down there?
Definitely. So we have we're catering to everybody's palate. So we have the vegan food, we've got the normal, jerk chicken and whatever. No pork on the premises.
No, we don't want no pork, man.
Agree with pork. So all the other stall holders, we have from clothes, lashes, makeup. There's a lady that does baby massages. All the people are there. So yeah, it's promising to be a great day, and the sun is going to be hot.
Yeah,
so bring a change of clothes, because I'm sure big people and kids are gonna want to go on that water slide.
No. It's gonna be fun. But I've been hearing about it still, cause my other sister in gonna be there.
Oh, lovely.
Desiree, you know Desiree, you know.
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, she's gonna be there, and I know a couple people are gonna be there as well. So I know it's gonna be a big thing.
Just make sure you forward.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna forward because I had something to plan, but I'm gonna cancel that one and make sure that I'm at this work. I didn't know about it from time. That's why I was saying a bit upset that I never get a chance to let people know. See?
No, it's true. It's true. I'm very sorry.
Yeah.
But my kind of promotion, handing out flyers and the rest of it. Time is the mark.
Yeah, but time challenges. But we
have to thank God we're here.
Yeah, man. Give thanks.
We're good to go.
Okay then. So let people know the information again, and we want to get many people to come on. So I'm gonna tell my brethren them like Tony. I don't even know Tony. He does a big event at the where is that? Tottenham Green. I know. I don't remember if you spoke to him one of the time.
I did,
yeah. So I'm gonna make all them man there come true, you know.
Yeah, man, definitely, Papa Dad.
Yeah.
So that's the launch of H&J Juices and a family fun day. We're looking to enjoy the day. People come out ready to eat, drink, and get fat. The venue is the Old Edmontonian Football Club on Hounsville Road, London, N9 7RA. If you have any queries, or to be fair, it's kind of late for vendors right now, but we might be able to squeeze in one. Give us a call on 073 91 513 157. And we'll see what we can do. But I'm looking forward to that jerk chicken, the fried chicken, the curry goat, the jollof rice. Yes, we're having jollof rice.
Jollof rice. I must get a push on jollof rice. Yeah. A long time I don't taste no jollof rice still. See?
No, man, definitely. Yeah. We're Africans.
Yeah. Okay then.
And all nations will be serving the best in vegan food.
Okay then. Well, my sister, give thanks for let people know what's going on. Really do appreciate that. Really do appreciate it. I mean, of course, many people come out this Saturday coming. See?
Definitely, Papa Dan.
Yes. All right then.
How's
your dad getting on?
He's all right, He's better than me and your
all right then. Big him up for me, yeah? And big up your family as well, man, you know? All right then.
Thank you so much, Papa.
Take care, my sister. One love. One love. Okay then, bye. Okay then, as you hear, a big event taking place this Saturday down at Edmonton. Fitness football ground at Edmonton, just past Bouncers Road. And we encourage many people to come out and full enjoy yourself. It's a family event. There'll be football. There'll be all kind of dishes. There'll be stores and lots of things going on. Okay then, so give thanks.
until you really want something bad happen to somebody else because you direct it into something else or somewhere else.
Well, I don't know if it's him directed there. I don't know if it's him directed there. I think it's just nature carry go there, so. I think it's nature don't make it come here, so I did.
But actually, as you know, we speak about the storm, you know, it's really the collective energy that we had here that pushed it away. And I firmly believe so.
All right, so what's the time when it liquid, like, what 80 now? There was no collective energy there.
I don't think so.
And there was a collective energy in Florida.
I don't think so.
And none on the side of Cuba.
I don't think so.
And that sound pious to you?
No, because I tell you what, right? It's the oneness and the
so what I'm to Gilbert now? What I'm to Gilbert?
Huh?
What I'm to Gilbert now? When Gilbert mashed up the whole of Jamaica the other day.
We needed an awakening.
You see? All right, you see? All right.
I wasn't here to blow it away.
No. All right. Let me explain. All right.
Everybody in Jamaica thought it was a COVID.
Stick up in. This is my little problem with these ideas now. One, if the thing leak, a man say, well, people never did a prayer, no. But if it don't leak, people say, you know, sister, we did a prayer hard.
But it could be so, though.
I never said couldn't be so, you know. I am saying that's the problem I have with the thing.
Would he get complacent in Gilbert?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, but an absolute reserve because nobody thought it would come.
No.
And that is why that
nobody prayed.
Energy wasn't there. That critical mass wasn't to repel.
What happened to the number one?
It would come.
All right, so what happened to the killing the Guana Jamaica when nobody else, nowhere else in the world it a Guana so? How the religious mind work?
Well, the religious mind say now that Christ, God give us free will, you know.
No, me know, but when I say no, in terms of the people them who are saying them stop the storm. Why these people?
We can't have that collective energy.
That collective energy now to stop the crime.
Maybe we're just not tapping into.
But I'd prefer you stop the crime than the storm.
But we need the politicians.
I'd prefer. You stop the crime, then stop the storm.
We need the politicians.
No, I see you at least the storm.
That's right.
The storm a mash up place, the gun that kill people. I prefer you stop the crime than to stop the storm. Trust me.
Well, maybe what we need to do collectively, right, is put that energy into it. And I tell you what, right, the people who lead our nations, you know, right, is a very important set of people, you know, because they are put in a place, they understand our authority, right? And, you know, if we want to be truthful, it is some of the same politicians who give the same little man a gun.
Yeah, but they have a overposition, don't give nobody no gun, and they use them get it themselves.
Absolutely.
They come along in a barrel on TV.
Yeah, but that seed was planted 30 years ago.
Yeah, no, we not say no, we just say, you know, like, I could put the table on the table so now. A lot of the gun them are coming out of the country. I know politicians are bring them.
No.
A drugs man are bring them in.
Absolutely.
You know, get a man who have contacts of foreign, who have certain little barrel around now. I don't know politicians.
Yeah, but it's where
the politicians them gun, they don't turn legal gun now.
Where it started.
Greetings, hi. My name is Michael Reed. I'm a natural practitioner ringing from Cyprus.
Oh, Mike, I've been hearing a lot about you, man.
Yeah, man, blessings, bless up, you know?
Yes, my God. Well, first, Micah, first we want to welcome on to the Jammarster show. That's the on Bless Radio. And I'm hearing a lot about you in terms of the kind of works you do. So
yes, man.
We're eager to, you know, have a reasoning with you, see?
Yes.
So tell me something. Let people know what kind of work you do, see?
Yes, of course. Are you on live now? You know.
Yeah, man, we're live, man. I'm just brother.
All right, guys.
Everybody in the world know.
Okay, bless you.
Live, man. Can't get more live than we are live, no, man.
Check that. Yeah, I live out in Cyprus, and I've been out in Cyprus now for the best part of 7 years. And I've been working as a natural health practitioner, looking after people with their health for over 33 years now. So, you know, I study health at a very high, in-depth level. And I just love helping people understand why the body gets compromised, and looking at how the body really functions. A lot of people are losing their understanding of how the human body works, and they're full of medication and all sorts of, they're doing things which are quite hideous to their body, which is causing pain and suffering. So we're just going to shed some light. That's all.
Okay then. So, in terms of you do a lot of work on is that a live blood analysis you do?
Yeah, well, but basically, my training is where we actually look at the body is totality, and the way we look at this is looking at how the Africans work, looking at how the Chinese work, and the Russians and various other cultures around the world would work to look at the human body. So we get away from just Western thinking, and we look at the world way of looking at it. So if someone came to see me, we looked at people's eyes, look in the eyes, look in the mouth, look at the skin, then look at their body temperature, and get a feel for what they are first before we start doing any other testing. So just have a look first and see how the physical body is looking, mannerism, gait, how they're moving as well. Then we move into testing.
Okay then.
So the medical testing we're doing is actually looking at the hair, because a lot of people just go for blood tests and not realize that a blood test is not the full story.
No.
This is where people fall down. The blood test gives you a partial understanding of how the body works. But you've got the hair analysis, which actually looks at toxicity in your body. You've got saliva, which looks at your hormones. And you've got your urine that tells you pH balance and kidney function. And you've got your stool analysis, so understanding about your gut health as well. So the body, the thing is, my friend, the body's very complex. That's what a lot of people don't realize. They think they can take a tablet and fix it that way. But if they take a medication long enough, it starts to cause other problems down the road.
So listen, let me jump in here, because there's a brother called Dr. Young. I don't know if you heard of him.
Yeah, okay.
He's a live blood analysis.
Yeah.
He's well known all over the world in the health practitioner. And what he does, that they can look at your blood, kind of work what you do, right? And they know pinpoint exactly what's wrong with you in terms of if you're insufficient of nutrients and etc. Just by a little pinch of your blood, see?
Yeah, and I'm very familiar with live blood. Yeah.
Yes. And I know that Dr. Young is one of the pioneers. So I don't know if you're familiar with his works. He's well known.
The pH balance. Yes, I understand about pH balance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm well versed with these guys and what they do.
Yeah.
I study with a lot of the guys, these top guys around the world, because after burying my mother. The story goes, for 25 years I watched my mother suffer with chronic rheumatoid arthritis, and my father had diabetes type 2. So as a young man, I was used to watching suffering, going in and out of the hospital, and watching them have blood tests and biopsies without having an understanding what they call the etiology is. Etiology stands for what the causes were. So back then, when I lacked the knowledge of how the human body worked, they were looking at my family challenges on the symptom level. So now, you talk about live blood analysis, and that definitely has its place, but it's not the be-all and end-all. I'm a man that I like to work like a technician on the body now, and the body works on many, many levels. So you got your live blood, like I said. And then you do have the other stuff, like take for example, I'm working with someone with live blood. They say, right, you've got parasites, you might have a deficiency in that, but, are they telling you about toxicity and other aspects of your body that you don't know about? Or are you depleted through your auric field? So what's that about? I could spend hours just telling you how complex the human body is and what the different criteria are needed to balance its deficiency and its toxicity. and that's why I moved out to Cyprus, because people of color need sunlight.
Okay.
That is something. If anyone is listening is very, got dark skin like myself, people of color, you need 8 times the amount of sunlight than a Caucasian person, and it doesn't cut it if it doesn't cut it if you're saying you're getting a 2-week-a-year holiday or 4 weeks away in the sun. It doesn't cut it, because if everyone was to go, I suggest you go along to your doctor and get a vitamin D assessment and see what you come back with that. And you'll find that if you're deficient in vitamin D, there's a whole host of illness that is waiting for you around the corners. So I said to my people, be mindful and know that you need sunlight. Sunlight is part of your healing. And sunlight is absolutely imperative. So yeah, just giving you a little taste of some of the stuff I do. So it's I get people to understand how the mind works, the mind, the emotion, and understand the importance of detoxification of the body, and understanding the different healing criteria required that are absolutely essential. There are things that the body requires which is essential now in the 21st century, based on food, based on EMF, electrical magnetic frequency, and lifestyle, and the amount of stress people are under. So I say to people now, we've got to get into what I call self-care revolution. This is what the Miracle Man and myself are doing. A group of us are getting together to actually help people to understand the importance of studying the human body 30 minutes every day, just to prove to them how complex it is. And they can come to their own sort of understanding that they are the creator of their own reality, and that they can actually pull themselves from wherever they are. Their health is being compromised and they're not sure. They can bring it from 0, from 1 to right up to 8 and 9, with robust health, good vitality.
Okay, let me ask a question there. There's 2 questions we need to ask. So how long you been in Cyprus now?
Yeah, over 7 years.
Oh, you've been over 7 years then.
Yes.
And the reason why you went out there, what? Because of the weather, or to do work? What was
Yes. I remember one day in the UK, I was going to work with a hot water bucket. Hot water bucket. I'm going to work with a hot water bottle, and I'm sitting there. I have to walk my talk. I said, if I'm talking health, I'm going to have to walk this, brethren. I'm going to have to walk it. I can't say I'm telling people to live in the sun, I'm still living in the UK. What's wrong with that? Then when I say I'm in Cyprus, I'm a brother, I'm following what I'm saying. I'm doing what I'm saying. We need sunlight, so I'm out with the sun. I go in the sea. Something else I recommend people to do, get sea, because the sea is close to your blood.
See. But
Yes.
So why Cyprus? I just want to why yeah.
I won a competition out here as a as a natural health nutritionist and selling natural supplements.
Okay.
And as a senior manager over 10 years ago, working for this company, and I was so impressed. They put me on a 5-star over here, and I was treated like royalty. And plus, I was into looking at human health anyway, and I was just fascinated. I said, "Man, this would be a lovely country to just live my life out and go to other countries." I mean, it sort of backs off to Africa, and you got the Middle East there, and you got Europe. So you got all these 3 continents around us. So I'm hoping.
Yeah. But it so happens that there's an organization called I don't know, it's still out there, called Success Resource.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there was there's been organizers used to be out there. They do a lot of they used to promote a lot of Anthony Robbins and etc. But they was based out there in Cyprus. I got a friend who was out there. I was gonna say to that so I know you're having an event. There was a group of you, collective having an event, and let people know about the your organization and what you're looking to do when you come to the been doing some events in the UK.
Well, all right, let's break it. If we look at illness now, right, if we look at the illness stats, and if people just to go on Google it and they know what I'm saying is true, we head the list, people of color, and we work for all races, but we're going to start with our, people of color and anybody else who understands, the stats stacked up against people of color when it comes to our health and well-being. We head the list for diabetes, we head the list for arthritis, we head the list for cancer and various other ailments. We head it. And so we've decided as a group of collective who are highly, we all got relevant qualification and we've been in the trade long enough to say get together. So we can now put courses and seminars together very comprehensively so people can really start looking after themselves and taking back their power. So much so they can, when the doctor's prescribing this drug and that drug, and they're sort of, they're deep down in their spirit, they say, you know what, I don't know if this is working. They can say to the doctor, look, write this down. I'd like everybody, anyone who's listening, write this down. If you're taking lots of medication, here's something you need to Google and read about. It's called iatrogenic illness. Iatrogenic, as it sounds,
yeah.
A-T-R-A-G-E-N-I-C. Iatrogenic illness, and basically it's illness by the drugs. And it's, that's what's hurting a lot of our people down the road. And so subsequently what we're doing in this conference is we're in the middle of writing a book. We've got a series of courses looking at the different factors of human health from, once again, psychology of getting well, because there is a whole big story. It's called psychoneuroimmunology.
All right.
Let me give you an example. Give an example of this. Someone's got stage 4 cancer. Watch this now. They've got stage 4 cancer, and they go see the doctor, and the doctor says to them, not too sure, you've got 6 months to live now. And that person there will actually, that will impress on the person, and that person will actually take it on board, literally, and that's what they call heterosuggestion. That person giving you an idea when you can actually turn it around. But based on that suggestion and that person believing it, things then start going downwards instead of
it's true.
upwards.
It's
So
very true.
that's why we explain to people about how the psychology and the emotional factors are very important, as well as understanding basic supplementation and various cleanses. So there's quite a few things people need to do in this self-care. So we're planning this retreat at the end of November, last weekend in November.
Okay then. All right then. So listen, can you give people your details, like your website or email, or where people, or your number?
Let me finish off like this then, Bridget. Let me give you some things that the people can do. How's that?
Okay, yeah, man.
Very simple. Let me explain it, break it down nice and simple. Nice and simple. This is what I get my clients when they're dismissive or they're not sure. I say, let me give you some basic things you can do. We call this the home test, so people get something from this. All right, let's start with the thyroid. All right, the thyroid, it sits at the top of your throat. It's like a butterfly gland, and it regulates a lot of systems in the body. Now, what you can do, go to the chemist and get yourself a thermometer. Yeah, a thermometer, which you're going to actually put as you get, wake up in the morning. You're going to take that thermometer, either put it into your mouth, preferably underneath your armpit, or put it in your buttocks, which is the best, and give it a few minutes and read the actual reading. Yeah, and write it down. Do that 3 mornings and get the reading of your thyroid. That'll give you a brief understanding of your thyroid. Yeah, and if you're under 37 degrees for your body, if you're under, it'll tell you if you're under or over. That gives you an idea whether you've got low underactive thyroid or over hyperthyroidism. Yeah, so that's something very easy anybody can do. Is that cool?
Yep. Yeah.
All right, next one. Just give 3. Next
What's that?
One is,
what's that next one as well?
This is number 2. That's thyroid, the first one.
Yeah.
Second one is your gut.
Okay.
Is your gut. Right. If you write it down, you can repeat to the anyone who's listening who's interested. So the gut is very important. And they say, you know, like the great teachers will tell you, majority of illness starts in the gut. And you can have various inflammation in your body and not know it. So here's what you do. We have a thing called stool transit time. It's called stool transit time. When you eat food, it has a certain time that it needs to evacuate from the body. Now, if it's not evacuating between, 18, 24 hours, and it's coming out before that, or it's coming out in 48 hours, we get some people go toilet maybe twice or 3 times a week and think that's not bad. And in fact, some of your doctors think that's normal. Well, you should be going to the toilet between 2-3 times a day.
2 or 3 times a day, yeah.
You get the sweet corn. You can either get sweet corn, charcoal. They will do sweet corn and charcoal and beetroot. Sweet corn, charcoal, and beetroot. And in the morning, let's use a sweet corn then. You take a spoonful on an empty stomach of, let's say, sweet corn, and you put a time that you take the sweet corn. And then you wait until you desiccate and see when it comes out again. So when you actually, pass the stool, you look and see when that sweet corn comes out. So it might be, 48 hours. It might be 26 hours and that. So the longer it's in the body, the longer it's fermenting or putrefying. It means that you're not breaking down your food properly. These are simple home tests people can do, yeah? And the last one is what you call stomach acid. As we get older, a lot of us don't have enough stomach acid based on the food and the lifestyle and everything else. So here's what happens is, so when you're eating food in a bad combination and you're eating quite quickly and you're not paying attention to food combination, you get your odd bloating, you get your odd sort of constipation, you get your skin issues and various things. So every external things that's based on the gut. So here's what I want you to do here on the stomach, not breaking down food. So get sodium bicarbonate. Sodium bicarbonate, a teaspoon of sodium bicarbonate in a 8-ounce glass of warm water, and then just basically swirl him and drink him early in the morning, and see if you burp within the first sort of 3 minutes or so. If you burp within 3 minutes, you're fine. You've got good stomach acid. If you don't, it means you've got a low stomach acid.
Low stomach acid, okay.
Causes people lots of problems. All right.
Okay.
So that wraps it up. So my detail, if you want to get hold of me, I'm here to help anybody who's got serious health issues. My name's Michael Reid, R-E-I-D. I'm working with the miracle man himself, which I'm very grateful for. We're a great team. I'm based in Cyprus. You can get me on Facebook, and our sort of website is Wellness Academy. It's called Wellness Academy Global, so you can see what we're doing on there, and also our Facebook site's at.
Okay.
And my telephone number, if anybody would like to contact me personally, is Cyprus 00357. That's 00357 951 66096. That's 00351. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and it's 951 66096.
Okay then. All right then, my brother. Give chance for the reason, and again, your brother's based in Cyprus, so we definitely want to be communicating even more, probably even next week. Touch down with us and let us know what's happening.
Well, what I thought we could do, we could look at different ailments. How's that? Start off with, we could talk about diabetes one week, talk about rheumatoid arthritis one week, high blood pressure one week, and just work our way through the different ailments and give people different options on what they can do. If they're interested, though. If they're not, we can just keep it nice in general.
Yeah. Okay, then we can do that then. Yeah. Probably look at diabetes and prostate and so forth. See.
And prostate issue with our people. Oh my God! In fact, prostate would be a very good one.
Yeah, we've been talking about prostate for the last 8 weeks here. You see, and in fact, there's a brother called Vasco Stevenson who will be phoning in a minute talking about prostate cancer. In fact, the Miracle Man knows him quite well. So, Michael, give thanks still, see, and then we'll talk. Yeah.
Yes, up here.
Yeah, man.
Okay. Let you got my details and speak to Colin, and then we can get together whenever you want to. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Everything nice, man.
All right.
All right, then.
Thank you
Blessing
so
love.
much. Yeah.
All right, then. Give thanks.
All right. Blessing. Bye for
Blessing love. Okay, then. So that's Michael Reed, who's based in Cyprus, and I think they'll be coming over here soon, doing a series of health lectures in the country. He's got a wealth of information and knowledge, and that's who man like the Miracle Man spar with, you know. Okay, so what's happening? Vasco will be ringing in about 15-20 minutes. Inside the house we do have brother Jammers inside the house, and again you're tuned to the Jammarster show, so I'm gonna have a short break just for a minute, and then continue.
Something bad happened to somebody else.
The whole reasoning.
Direct it into something else or somewhere else.
Well, I don't know if it's him directed there. I don't know if it's him directed there. I think it's just nature carry go there, so. I think it's nature don't make it come there, so I did.
But actually, as you know, we speak about the storm, you know, it's really the collective energy that we had here that pushed it away. And I firmly believe so.
All right, so what's the time when it leak like, what I'm eating now? There was no collective energy there.
I don't think so.
And there was no collective energy in Florida.
I don't think so.
And none on the side of Cuba.
I don't think so.
And that sound pious to you.
No, because I tell you what, right? Is the oneness and the
so what I'm to Gilbert now. What I'm to Gilbert?
Huh?
What I'm to Gilbert now. When Gilbert mashed up the whole of Jamaica that day.
We needed an awakening.
You see? All right, you see? All right.
I wasn't here to blow it away.
No. All right. But I explain, all right.
Everybody in Jamaica thought it was a COVID.
Stick up in. This is my little problem with these ideas now. One, if the thing leak, a man say, well, people never did a prayer enough. But if it don't leak, people say, you know, sister, we don't pray hard enough.
But it could be so, though.
No, I never said it couldn't be so. I am saying that's the problem I have with the thing.
And so, would he get complacent in Gilbert?
No, I don't think so.
But absolute reserve, because nobody thought it would come.
No.
And that is why that
nobody prayed.
Energy wasn't there. That critical mass wasn't formed to repel it.
What to the number one?
It would come.
All right, so what to the killing the guana Jamaica when nobody else, nowhere else in the world it a go on so? How the religious mind work?
Well, the religious mind say now that Christ, God give us free will, you know.
No, me know, but what I say now, in terms of the people them who are saying them stop the storm. Why these people?
We can't have that collective energy.
That collective energy now to stop the crime.
Maybe we're just not tapping into.
But I'd prefer you stop the crime than the storm.
But we need the politicians.
I'd prefer. You stop the crime, then stop the storm.
Kick up a storm at the moment. He's been on several radio stations. He's got a serious following on YouTube. He runs the Speakers Club, and also he's got a book out.
Now you're tuned in to DJ Jammers on Bless Radio. 5 till 7 is the Jammarster show. Every Thursday, bear good vibes aflow. With etymology, if you make your brain cells grow.
Words have got many different meanings, alright? I believe it's not a meaning that's applied in a certain way that keeps us restricted today, alright?
Now you're tuned in to DJ Jammers on Bless Radio. 5 till 7 is the Jammarster show. Every Thursday, bear good vibes aflow. With etymology, if you make your brain cells grow.
By the power of the pen, they didn't need to use swords anymore. And if you look at the word sword, you turn it the other way around, you see the word.
Now you're tuned into DJ Jammers on Bless Radio. 5 till 7 is the Jammarster show. Every Thursday, beer good vibes aflow. With etymology if you make your brain cells grow.
So basically, they found out by the science of the pen, they could control how you thought by the power of a pen.
Now you're tuned into DJ Jammers on Bless Radio. 5 till 7. You're in tune to DJ Jammers on Bless Radio, UK's #1 station.
Melanin. It's what we call a chemical key to life. The more melanin you have, the more civilized you are. The more melanin you have, the more psychic you are.
The first African, we're back at Boys and Girls High Field. It was Africa, actually. But anyway, that being said, I just want you to know that what you're looking at here, this being a common exercise of logic, concludes that the authentic experience is a first-person, tactile, in-person interaction between an event and your physical senses, one not mediated or explained by an outside or second-person worded definition of that experience. If using the words we speak to define an experience could be considered a second-person mediation of perception, then any word spoken to describe an experience must be considered inauthentic, unless the listener has had a previous first-person experience similar to the experience being described. Ergo, any experience resulting from the manipulation of one's perception to a second-person retelling using words is authentic. Given this scenario,
you're in tune to DJ Jammers on Bless Radio, UK's #1 station.
Bourbon family, and I've got to say big up to Duggie for flying the flag in my absence. Duggie, how's it going so far?
Everything good, man. Everything good.
Yeah,
Good.
and you've been talking about Digo's going to be down there with his sound system as well on Saturday, so it's an event not to be missed.
Okay,
so make sure you come out in Saturday, and that's what we have to do. We have to especially I've got to say big up to the management, special request to the ancestors. Thanks to the ancestors for allowing me to come here and hopefully impart some enlightenment. All the community, hope you're enjoying the natural sunlight that we're having. And what we can start to do is to start to create environments, family-oriented environments. That's what we can do to start to bring back the families, and this is what we need to be doing to bring back the families, because they're creating a false statistic that so-called black-on-black crime is the biggest virus to hit the community since mankind has been created. But when you look at the statistics, the real facts is that the majority of violence that is committed is committed not by us. We are the least affiliated to any form of violence. So when you look at the statistics, they're actually perpetuating, as Phil Valentine was saying, perpetuating an illusion of a reality where we are so addicted to committing crime, when basically we are just victims and following what the devices that they put in front of us to create these crime scenes, because it's something that you've seen that stimulates your mind to create the crime.
But sorry to jump in like that, John, but just to talk about crime, that every week when them on them football matches, and them rival fans them, and them try to kill each other, bust up and fight everything. This is all over the country every single week. You see what I'm saying? But they don't really talk about that. So I just want to bring that into the mix.
Yeah, that's fantastic analogy, Dougie. That basically everything that is done on this side of the hemisphere is done in competition. It's not done to bring up both of us. Bring up everybody in a oneness. It's done to make me on top of you. and from the music it's a competition, from the games it's a competition, from the arts it's a competition, from even the clothes it's a competition. So they've created this competitive environment, but not a healthy competitive environment. It's a stealthy and environment that's used to manipulate one factor against another factor, and basically when you have that ingredient in society, then it's something that you can manipulate for financial gain. And when you say, as you look at the football, as you're saying, it's just basically men running around in shorts on a pitch, you know, but they've manipulated it that now people go to war and not even speak. You could be in the same family, and because your team get beaten by another team, you're not speaking, and even the colours you're wearing is defined by these men in short trousers on a football pitch are wearing. You know, you live your life, you know, if your team lose the whole weekend now, or the whole week now, your attitude or your mood has been changed, you know, according to this, you know. And it's a reality of illusion that's been created to manipulate your mind and stop you from being able to define your own kind. Theo, you is in the room as well. I think you just relaxing in the sunshine. I don't know if he wants to enjoy it. You should see Theo in his, you know, in his short trousers and his flip flops here. Yeah, good to have you back with us, Theo.
Okay, yeah, always great to be here. Yes, big up Duggie. Yes, jammers, all the blessed listeners, and the Most High. Now, when you was speaking there, jammers, it just brought a few things to mind. So, just to slightly deviate from the point you was making about so crime and also the whole football aspect of things. That's, you know, this is meant, you know, principally designed to be a leisure pursuit as such, but it's more than that. And it's actually, you know, we can say, you know, these are guys kicking around the football and everything, but then we also have to pay attention to the fact that a lot of our brothers and increasingly sisters are wound up in pursuing this activity called football, you know, as a pastime, you know, as an outlet for energy, and then also as a professional pursuit, you see. So there's more to it than that, and as it comes to what Duggie was saying there is quite relevant, because, you know, they will I'm taking it about the spectators of football, particularly if they don't get the result they want. There will be an awful lot of you know, aggression kind of expended afterwards, even during the game. Well, yeah, well, see, but you see, the whole thing about the fighting is that you see, what I was actually trying to say when I was thinking about it was that in this increasingly political world, yeah, I'm trying to jump through really quickly, because they can actually get away with this stuff, because crime isn't about deeds in this culture. Crime's about power and who decides what crime actually is. You see? So all of this really kind of toxic behavior can be excused, because at some point even those who are supposed to be the law keepers indulge in it. The police indulge in it, the army, they have the same fundamental mentality. So it wouldn't necessarily be, they even do it when they go to war. They kind of they unleash this aggression, they unleash this tendency, this onto their victims in Afghanistan, in Iraq, in Haiti, in Somalia. They go and do these kind of depraved acts, which are just an extension of what we see at football matches. And this is because their whole idea as men primarily is diminished by the politics in their home countries, due to them actually always pursuing this. It's in their nature to actually manufacture what's called a scarcity kind of mentality, that there's always competition for finite resources, instead of actually achieving balance, which was our way before their intervention into our cultural continuity. And this has an effect on both our men and women who absorb their values. And then, of course, when you talk about communities that don't necessarily have these outlets and don't necessarily have their their activities looked upon within the same light, then the spaces in which you can interact with each other become even more closed in. And then that offsets a different particular outlet between us, and that obviously, yeah, in some instances, that becomes violence. But then it's a welcome form of violence for them, because it also actually facilitates their own business and commercial pursuits. Because they make a business out of our death, they make a business out of our violence, they make a business out of our dysfunctionality, and sell it back. You know, so there's a whole lot there to look at when we start looking at this whole kind of thing. So that's my initial remarks.
Initial remarks.
Right.
I remember in the winter, you know, you couldn't get a word out of my man, and now he's talking about the light. I don't know what the sunlight's been doing to Theo recently, but he's coming out with some encyclopedic knowledge there, you know. So Theo, wow. Or at least what you're drinking, I want some of that drink there. You're having that drink there. But what Theo's saying is, and you, Doug, is quite relevant. Basically, you see, they're operating on it's really a setup, because they've got to carry on this illusion that they are in power. You know, they are the supreme. So they've set up these schemes like football, fashion, music, where it's actually designed for them to be first, because they control the rules, they control all the functions of these schemes to make themselves at the front of it, and there's only a limited doorway for us to get through. There's only going to be a limited, so basically when you're looking at the films, you know, the films are designed to make them, especially Hollywood when it goes out, is to make them look, to highlight what they're doing to the detriment of everyone else. So the stars of these films is going to be them, you know. The same with the fashion. They run the fashion industry, they run this, and the modeling industry as well. So the stars of the fashion and the modeling industry is going to be them. When they're competing in the game is all about which country is superior to another country, and basically the stars of those games is going to be them, or us who have been converted to run under their flag. So that every scheme, the music industry as well, the music industry, as you can see, basically anything that, any genre of music that we create, as soon as one of them so they can get the copyright on what we're doing, and they manipulate that genre to make sure that one of them is at the forefront. So if you even look at the newspapers are designed to push forward their news and what concerns them. So basically all the news is generated towards them, and we don't get a look at him. So most of these schemes as well, it initiates a dream that we try to get into this illusion that we want to be famous, we want to be the star, but it's set up for them. And this is the problem now our youth are looking at, because we don't control these industries. So our youth are looking for an outlet of recognition of who they are, and unfortunately all this setup is designed for them to fall into, and then the frustration leads to us taking it out on each other, you know.
It's quite interesting it's quite interesting what's been said and what Theo is saying as well, and Theo might correct me, I think it might be Neil Fuller, and he was talking about 9 areas of control, right, or 7 areas of control, and he mentioned things like politics, sports, law, entertainment. There's a few of them, right? And when we look at sports, right, who control the sports? And as he says, it's all about power. It's all about power. And they manipulate it as well, and the media, right? It all ties in. It all ties in, and the media, they're able to use the media to manipulate us, right, for their own personal gain, you know. So when we look at these individuals who want to be superstars, nothing wrong with that still, right? But even though you might be making what, 5-10 million pounds, they're making what, 500 billion pounds off of you. You see what I'm saying? It's about ultimate power, and what they've done, they manipulate, you know. So, and I know Neil Fuller. Are you familiar with that concept there? What Neil Fuller talked about? It's 7 areas of control.
9.
Is it 9? Is it 9?
9.
9 areas.
It's 9. Yeah.
And entertainment, law. I don't know if you know them. Those areas there.
Yep. So you're talking about
Theo knows everything.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. I like what a learned brother at Galaxy said. If I knew everything, I'd be stupid. So,
big up Abu Ratata.
Big up Abu. Big up Dr. Abu Ratata. Yeah, and so I'm fully in line with that conviction myself. So in order. As Dr. Neely, is it Doctor or is it just Neely Fuller came up with economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, war. Interestingly enough, it's all war. You know, so maybe he put them in alphabetical order, but we've touched on it briefly on previous occasions on this show, and the fact of the matter is that all of it are aspects of war, and all of it is going to have a necessary effect on your state of health, depending on which area in which you are being affected to the most degree. You know, the outcomes of the war strategies in whichever dimension of those areas are going to have health ramifications, health consequences. Not necessarily so much that you're going to end up breaking out in a hive of warts all over your face, but then it's going to be in terms of either, you know, your physical, spiritual, or mental health. And that's why it all comes down to war.
And I just like to go in what they used to implement that is done at an early age before we can have any command of what is happening. So basically, like Phil Valentine was saying, basically, is they do this at an early age, from birth, from the cradle. They do it so that we bring it to our own grave. And the way they do it is they've got arts that enable you to be free, called the liberal arts. And so if you don't know these liberal arts, then you're not going to know the skill of how to be free. So basically, they attack you virtually. There's seven tools that they use to stop you from being free from birth. So you create your own grave. And the first art is the art of how words have been put together, you know. So especially when it comes to, like, you get your tax bill or your legal bill, you know, you're at the mercy of them. You've got to get one of them to interpret the legislation. You've got to get one of them to interpret anything. If you need to get medicine, you need to one of them to interpret anything in science. So basically, at an early age, you know, they've given you this puzzle called words that they don't show you how the puzzle is put together. So immediately your brain is blocked from even being able to decipher the words in front of your face. If you can't decipher the words that are in front of your face, then you're not going to be able to decipher the words that are spoken in front of your face. This leads you to the other dilemma now, is that you can't see the flaws in any arguments. So, like, especially like politicians or doctors or in any form that you enter in, somebody could be giving you, especially salesmen, or you can't decipher the flaws in the argument. And then so from not being able to decipher the puzzle of words, and then you're not being able to decipher the flaws in the argument, then you have an inability to speak your point or get your point across. The elite, they send their youth to schools where enable them to learn how to speak, how to argue, and how to decipher the grammar. So this is the problem. That's the first three aspects of to be free, is to stop your ability to speak, to stop your ability to be able to argue, and to stop your ability to able to know anything about the code of words. The next four is numbers, how numbers relate to you and the cosmos. The other one is how the world is worked, the measurements of the world, geometry, how the world is put together, and the significance of the world to your well-being. The next thing is important one is the rhythm. So your rhythm, your natural cycle of rhythm, and how to command your rhythm and how it relates to your inner essence. You're not shown this. And then the other one is the cosmos, the science of the cosmos. So all these sciences called the first three is called the trivium. The next four is called the quadrivium, and then the seven liberal arts that us as a community and as a people are denied at birth, and this is what they teach their elite when they go to these grammar schools.
But it's interesting because a lot of this stuff come from the whole straw man reasoning as well, you know. And I like the way you've kind of you might not be aware, but the way you've kind of tied it in, yeah.
And yeah, as you said, and as you said, it's a legal attack, and it's an attack of war, because basically, if you look at how their sentences, even the words that they speak is violence, because they're talking to an object. So when you're talking to an object, you object against that person. Object in Latin, it means you throw something against somebody. So even when somebody's opened their mouth towards you, they're throwing something at you. And then you've got a subject. So basically, they're the subject and you're the object. So when they speak, subject means something that's thrown under. So they're under a force that they're throwing against you. So basically, when somebody speaks to you, they speak in a sentence. You have a natural rhythm. You could be happily enjoying your day, but they're going to throw something at you that's going to make you tense, that you're going to carry around around for the rest of your, maybe the day. You could even be carrying it around for years, just through somebody saying something out of their mouth. They're going to put something in you, and that's going to cause you, as Theo was quite, some kind of mental stress. Some might maybe feeling incompetent or feeling lack of confidence just by somebody throwing the science of a sound at you, what they've mastered and taken it. So basically, there's 4 ways that they can make you tense. The first way they can make you tense just by opening their mouth, and this is what they learn in grammar school. It's called grammar program. So basically, it's a program how they can program you to be tense in for the first.
Okay, no, it's quite sure grammar program. So they've already program you.
They can program. They can program you. Yeah, by just the sound that comes out their mouth. There's 4 ways, because we're people of natural rhythm. So to stop someone using, like in a boxing match, you got a natural rhythm. So I can't fight against you because I don't know which way this punch is coming from. So the only way I can attack you now, if I can make you tense and focus on me, then you're not going to focus on your natural ability.
Well said.
Yeah.
Well said. Well said.
So there's 4 ways now that I can put you off. They put us off our game, because we're natural rhythm. So the 4 ways you got to make these people tense, so they don't use their ability to manipulate. So the first way I can make you tense is throw an emotion at you. This is what women are kind of masters at still, you know. So I can throw an emotion at you. So instead of thinking, well, let me give him a triple punch and do a double somersault and lick him in the head, I'm going to call you an idiot. So now, because I've said you're an idiot, you're not going to think of your way that you could do your triple double back somersault flip. You're going to be, who's he calling an idiot? And as soon as I give you that emotion, now you feel that emotion that's going to throw back. So the first way is give someone an emotion to be tense with. Send them tense with an emotion. The second way is to send them tense with a question, interrogation. So basically, not really a question, it's interrogation, just like the police. The police do you. So where was you last night? Especially if a girl would ask you. That's not a question. That's interrogation. So instead of you being happy with the day now, you feel, why are they asking me that question? Or what is that? So the first way, give them an emotion, interrogate them. The next thing is to give them an order, a command. You know, I'm not coming out with you again unless you treat me in a certain way. You know what I mean? So then you've got that command in your head. Then the 4th way is a statement. The word statement means your mind, and state means to put your mind in a state, you know. So that's what politicians or the newspapers will do, will say something as this is how it is, without you being able to critically analyze it, and you have to go with what's being said.
Put you in an emotional state.
That's right.
Yeah.
Have you got anything to add to that, Theo, or have I been chatting nonsense?
I just wanted to if I can.
Yes.
Just fill in a few areas, right? So I'm going to start with I'm going right back to trivia that you brought up, and that's interesting, and I just want to go a little bit further than to kind of like just briefly present what those things are, but kind of like associate them with the ways in which we are able to respond and combat these ways and means of these fiendish folk of people. So so the number 1 of that is logic, which in their idea is what they call an art of thinking. So they're designed to kind of like think, and of course that in itself presents a limitation which we're already able to expand beyond and go beyond that, because obviously within our own intelligence, within our own natural innate intelligence, is the ability to actually harness and develop intuitive faculty, which is actually precedes mere thinking. So that's that. The second one, I mean, feel free to throw in some questions, Duggie and Jammers. Grammar, which I could be corrected about this, but it actually really comes down to what they call the art of assembling and combining symbols. So it's an arrangement of sorts of just back up what Jammers is saying, is like the way in which the language is actually composed and structured is designed not necessarily to convey ideas in the purest sense, but actually to present symbols to you. And if you're not conversant, if you're not aware, if you're not really been initiated into really what this symbology that's being presented to you, then of course you can be led astray, just like what Jammers was saying. And then of course, I think if you'd agree with me, Jammers, rhetoric is the third one, which is supposed to be the art of communication, or conveying that symbology. So there's an art, so it's all connected together in doing all of these kind of things, see. And I like how you mentioned the whole kind of rhythm side of things, because you see, the main means of putting their symbols across to others is through this language. And then we have so many other ways and means and mechanisms and structures, and one of which is why they attack our music so much. Because there's our symbology, there's our rhythm, and this is how we convey a lot of ideas, through our natural propensity to be oratory excellent and to be rhythmically excellent, and to use our voices as instruments and our instruments as voices. And let's face it, the world would be a completely different place in terms of what we listen to in terms of music if it weren't for us. You see? So when you look at, especially when you look at the quadrivium that you referred to, and music comes alongside of that, and they talk about that being it's arithmetic as far as they're concerned. It's like music is the expansion of music, or it's the application of the theory of what they call numbers. So they're talking about timings, and time is not a universal principle, but rhythm is. And that's where we are strong. So there's ways to which we could actually, the whole idea is, right, why the languages we speak are so important is because whatever language you speak is first to the mind of a child. From there on in, that dictates how you approximate your reality, how you see the world and the universe, through those ideas, through symbols that you don't really understand. So there has to be more than just talk about this and getting back to dropping some of this language, or at least, as Jammers is working so tirelessly to do, understand the symbology that's behind all of this, without just absorbing these things wholesale without any kind of interrogation or scrutiny. That's me for now.
Yeah, and that's exactly, I concur what you're saying. Basically, that it's all by design to knock you out of your time, to get to your mind. They destroy the way you can rhyme with these false signs. But basically, they say that you use 10% of your mind, but it's by design, because 10 means the hold. It means that this like in the word sentence, 10 is where everything is held. 10 is the root word to tender, when you tension. The word 10 in ancient symbols is the cross, two crosses basically in Rome. So basically the word 10 is what is held in sentence. So basically when they say you're using 10% of your brain, it's the part that they're putting in, that they want you to hold on to. As I said, sentence. They're giving you sentences to cause tension in your head, and that's what you're holding on to. Because as Theo was saying, logic is the science of thinking how they want you to think. Thinking is the first sign of doubt, because if you've got to think something, then you no longer know it. So basically this is putting you out of your cycle of time, because when we work through intuition, don't we? Yeah, Theo. So we work through intuition. That's right. So we work through an inner knowing of something. if you're going to pick a cup up, you don't have to think, how do I calculate my hand to move at a precise capacity to wrap my fingers around this cup without breaking or tipping the cup up. You just do it. So every time they make you think through the false science of logic, they're putting a doubt in your head, and it's starting a thought process. Thought means what you ought to be doing. Doubt means what you want to do something, but there's a but in it. So this process of affecting our time through the words that they convey is taking us out of our natural ability to do things intuitively. Yeah. Oh, so okay.
Duggie's sunbathing, so
yeah, soaking information still. It's quite interesting. So I'm a bit away from the mic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I'm away from the mic. So no, I'm just taking the information. So I didn't want to upset the flow because I know that Third, you want to flow.
I was only going to follow up with what Jammer said there and say that, you see, everything, I'm pretty much agree with what Jammer's saying. Additionally, you see, if we go back to see the philosophy, so this all comes from the academies, and also one integral part of the academies was the kind of presentation of the Greek philosophy. But then we know that actual whole idea came from a mismatch of their ideas, because they never even really had any word for wisdom. So it might be fair to say, if you had no word for wisdom, you didn't possess any. You see, and it's not that logic doesn't have a place in the presentation of ideas, because, you know, in terms of the total kind of arrangement of the spirit form involves faculty for being logic included, but it's not something that has been extracted out and presented as the pinnacle of human kind of like consideration, which is what they do. So it's thinking's the top thing, not really feeling, not tapping into your intuitive faculty, but thinking, you know. And then obviously if you have to kind of like diminish and restrict everything into that one area, then it's going to have an effect on your scope to interact with people.
Right.
You know.
Okay, I want to just jump in here, and the reason why I want to jump in, because as Jammers was talking about, we use thinking, our logic, and it stops our way of being creative, because it just blocks us. Am I right in saying that, Jammers?
That's correct, yeah.
Right. I just want to ride on to what Edison was saying, right? And correct me if I'm misrepresenting information here, Jammers and Theo, right? That one of the things Edison was saying is that, I mean, that if you don't even think, you said your ancestors are speaking to you all the time. They always, you know, if you trust your ancestors, or just trust your ancestors, just speak to your ancestors, as he put it to us, right? They communicate with us, right, all the time. So, reason why I'm bringing this into it now, would you say then, Jammers, right? I'm just trying to tie it in what Edison was saying, and also tying what Theo was saying, is that really we should just allow our ancestors to talk to us.
Well, that might throw some people when you say ancestors. Okay, so similar. No, I hear what you're saying, because there's many words to say. But if where people might grasp it easily is more, we've got an inner intelligence. You know, and it's just like how you breathe at a certain way, that you can process the air process that comes through your nostril and pump the right dynamic of air around and produce the carbon dioxide that relates to the tree in front of you. That's high level science. You know, how you can manipulate yourself to move across environments, and see when the cars and the bus come in, you can calculate the distance to put one foot in front of the other at the precise moment. That's high level science. You see, and how you can see the colors and manipulate the colors and put them together into a material to form a fashion of the clothes that you wear. High level science. So we've got this high level intelligence in us, you know, that works without us, beyond our capacity of thinking. We cannot understand how we can do what we do.
So are you saying that we should allow ourselves to just to
That's right. We're the unknown. Let the unknown manifest itself and do what it needs to do. But these blocks that they put, as I said, 10% of your brain is because they make you tense, they make you worried, They make you fearful. So these are all designed to close down this or attack this intelligence that you have.
So how does one unblock or get the intelligence to? How do you move forward there? How you get the intelligence to? Yeah, what's the way to do that?
Well, as what we're saying, the thing what they've done, they've taken our cycle of time away from us, and they're using that cycle of time to keep us tied to what they want us to do. So they give us these words, and with the words you can't have an experience with the word. That's one thing that they do. So they'll give you the word time, and you can't do nothing with that word time. But they can do something in a way that they can bring out the latest movie and tell you exactly what date next year the movie is going to come out, and the movie will manifest. You know, they can bring out a new fashion item and tell you in the future exactly to the precise second when it's going to manifest. So they have a control of time. They have a control of time, which we also have a control of time. What they've done, I'm getting closer to the point what you're saying now. Basically, Duggie was trying to say that how do we bring, if they're using fear and certain other elements to shut down our intelligence, how do we access our intelligence? Well, basically, intelligence, another word of for intelligence or ancestors is your spirit. And the thing that they've done to stop us defining ourselves is to break our spirit. If you look at a wild animal, or like a horse. The horse is running wild. They jump on the back and ride the horse until the horse becomes docile. It's an attack on the spirit. You know, in the army, when the new recruits come in, they're constantly shouted at and controlled until their spirit is broken. There's no resistance. So the first thing that you need to do to get somebody using their inner intelligence, which is to break the spirit. And any look at slavery, what is to break the spirit. So basically, what we have to do now, and then the next thing that you do is give up. Well, us who have a spirit, give us a false spirit that we can't access. So take the ability to us to self-define out of our hands and give us a ghost figure to look to give us the power that they control. So basically, we've got a natural ability that we can define anything that we do. But they've given us this ghost to wait on and hand and foot and to bow down to in hope.
The coming of Jesus Christ.
Well, call it what you want. Call it coming of Zeus, I would say, really. More Zeus, because it's all based in mythology.
Hang on, leave it there. Don't you believe in Jesus Christ, mate?
I've got my point. What I wanted to say is, we had an ancient science called Mahat, which Theo said is balance. It's a practical reality of balance, that if you do something, it's going to affect. It's also called karma. There's going to be a result. We have a real, and plus when you come from a place of plentiful, of sharing, agreeable nature, so we have a real science of reality that uses our senses. You've got to use your senses to have balance. But if you don't know that you've got feet, you're going to fall over if you don't know how to use them. So we had a natural science that works with nature called Mahat, which is basically balance. They have a artificial science called philosophy. Sophie means wisdom. The problem with philosophy, it's got the word love in it, which is called phil. So basically, the word love messes up your wisdom, because when you see a girl or you see a man and you fall in love with that person, your reasoning power goes out the window, because this love is fulfilling a fantasy that you want to make a reality come forth. And this is what causes the dynamic of a false sense of a reality. So basically, if you look at anything that they do now, it's based on a fantasy that you're going to wear a certain item of clothing and all of a sudden you're a super person. You're going to drive a car and then you're better than you are. You know, you're going to be kick a ball in the field and all of a sudden you're a superpower. So it's a delusional, logical philosophy environment that they've created to perpetuate their illusion of their belief that they're a superior form of being.
Yeah, but you see, the thing is that, right, people are listening right now, right, and I want to know what's wrong, right, being a footballer or being a superstar, you know, because what you're saying, that it gives a false sense of illusion, right? This is what you're saying, yeah? Right? Now then, if one is become more aware or more conscious, people will say there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I just want to flip it around a little bit because people are listening and want to say, what is he talking about? You see what I'm saying? So what is wrong of being a superstar?
I'll give you a for instance. Two children in a school. Yeah, one is one of our so-called ethnicity. One is an Indian person. I ain't got nothing with Indians. Problem. Just say, put it blunt. The black boy is looking at the Indian boy's new pair of trainers and wants the new pair of trainers. He asks the Indian boy, "How comes every month you got a new pair of trainers?" The Indian boy asks, it says, "Your mum is giving me these trainers that I'm wearing because she's working 7 days a week and she's spending all her money in my mum's hairdresser shop. So your mother is giving my mother all your money, all the money she earns, so I can have new trainers every week." You see, and I am also going to be going to grammar school and I'm also getting a new car thanks to your mum. That's why the youth will go into the house and start kicking up an argument because they're getting wise to the crime or the design that's going into our elders' mind. And that's the problem. When you go into their society, you want to be a footballer or you want to be a pop star, you fall in love with what is put in front of your face and you don't leave nothing behind for your youth to benefit.
Right. So I understand what you're saying. So basically it's about your individual needs, but you're not thinking about the future of your next generation, what's after you.
Yeah, I want to just to add to that, business and finance is based on culture, not education. It's based on culture because it's providing for your family. If you look at a lot of the businesses around your local, your local streets, the people can't speak English, barely speak English, barely have any education. But when it comes to money and management of resources, you can't beat them.
Yeah, that's a good point. I like what you said there, sir. Say that again. Finance and finance and economics is not based on education. It's based on culture. It's based on managing limited resources in the most efficient way for your family. If you haven't got a family concept in the equation, you're going to spend your money loosely and give it to the person who is actually perpetuating your existence in poverty. Oda, would you say then that money and wisdom equals power?
I'll say that culture equals power and family first equals power, because if you look at look at their families, it's family first before anything else. And in relation to the football, there's no problem being a footballer or being the best musician. There's not a problem as long as you put your family first and you develop a football academy for the people behind you who's coming up, or you educate the musicians under you. And that's what's not happening enough in that community.
I'm in line with what you're saying. I'm gonna bring. I know Theo wants to come in, but let me just say that that personally speaking, I would say that wisdom plays a very important part. I mean, for example, look at those people who's got money, like the Tiger Woods, to some extent, what's the brother name? Tyson, and there's quite a few people in the past, right? But look where the money is going. You see, so and look at those who got the wisdom, but never put their dreams into reality, like the Malcolm X, the Garvey, and whatever. That's why I say money and wisdom equals power, right? I mean, for example, right, as you know, there's a lot of footballers there, quite footballers, who's got whoopper money, right, earn whoopper money, millions of pounds, etc., right? But doesn't how much money they have, right? All they're gonna do is spend the money back in the system, probably buy themselves a fast car, eventually then kill himself in the damn car, right? See, so that's why if you gotta get the mind straight, you know what I mean? And it still ties to what you're saying though. the family as well. They've got the wisdom as well, and like you made a point with the Asians and also relevant to the Jews and so forth, right? Yeah. So it all ties in still, but I just want to bring in the whole thing about the wisdom.
Yeah, I think it's definitely essential ingredient. But I think the key is the culture and just like a species of animals, they're going to fight to keep their existence going.
It's true. It's true.
You know,
it's
so if you look at the Jews, the Chinese, you know, they've got high and that is based on your principles that you have in the past. You want to keep that memory alive.
True. You know, based on the culture and so forth. So we're talking about the CMT. Yeah, Theo, you want to write in, brothers? Yeah.
Well, I was just trying to find an appropriate entry point for all of that, because I was actually enjoying the back and forth between the two of you. I'm inclined to lean more towards what Jammer said. What was interesting about the examples that you brought up Tiger Woods, and at first I thought, where are you going with this? But then we all know what happened to him. So, and then of course, Mike Tyson was another example. And then you mentioned Malcolm X. And I thought to myself, well, it begs the question, particularly when you look at Mike Tyson, you see, which kind of reinforces what Jammers was saying, in that, you see, of paramount importance is the cultural aspect of things. Because if you look at Mike Tyson, the first question that comes to mind was, okay, he amassed a whole lot of riches from his boxing activities. Then the next question is, who was around him? Who was advising him? Who were they advising him in his interests or their own? And on whose behalf were they really acting? And then you have to look at that also to a certain extent with Tiger Woods. Then if you look at Malcolm X, then obviously you see he was part of the well, obviously he had a life transformation after being incarcerated, and then became part of the Nation of Islam. Now, whether you agree wholeheartedly with the way in which they go about things, what you cannot actually dispute is that there is a solid foundational kind of infrastructure and an outlook and a purpose and goal to what they're doing, and you do not act singularly when you're part of the Nation of Islam. You see, you do not act singularly when you're part of a kind of like a district or community, say like in South Hall, for example, or Golders Green or Stamford Hill. You're part of an entire what we like to talk about community a lot, but that's what you have there. That's what you have there, and then you do not actually do anything to compromise or damage the forward movement or the advancement, which is a word which is very meaningful, of that community, that group, because there's a fundamental cultural blueprint that has been already drawn up. You know, Amos Wilson talks about that. You see, he has the book and he calls it the blueprint. So it's there. It's there. The blueprint is the very first thing before the structural engineers follow the architectural work and build a structure. So there's a structure in place, and you know what? You violate the tenets of that at your peril, because once you do that, you're kicked out. You're done. You're ostracized. You see what I mean? That's how it works. So when you look at the whole thing, it's not so much about having singular wisdom, you know, because the whole self-reliant thing isn't whole self in the sense of the European, the individual. The self-reliance is about a group determining its fortunes, determining its purposes and pursuing them, and always being focused and tethered to those ideas.
Okay, I'm in agreement with that, right? I'm in agreement with that, but if you don't have certain amount of wisdom, right, and you come in money, where does that money goes to?
I'd just like to come in with what you're saying, Duggie. Basically, we give power to money, you know.
No, don't jump, man. Don't jump, man. I'm saying is that, I mean that those who's got money, right, if they don't show them out wisdom, where does that money goes to?
That's what I'm giving you an example. Yeah, I'm going to give you an example afterwards. We give power to money. Other races see the power that they can use. What money, when they get money, they look at how they can use the power for their family. What happens is there was a 16-year-old billionaire, and having a radio interview, and the interviewer asked him to take out the money that he's got in his pockets and display it. He done it reluctantly, and the interviewer asked, "Oh, you got money. Why don't you? What's the problem?" He goes, "I don't like displaying money because it's disrespectful for the people who haven't got money." This is a 16-year-old knowing the value. A billionaire. Our rap stars will take wads of paper and thinking that is the essential. They've achieved fame by the paper that they've got in their hand and be throwing it loosely, where they would not display none of their wealth because they're going to apply that to build their families or buy their properties for their future.
All right. So you just answered the question there. So if you look at rap stars, right, and footballers, right, would you say that they don't really value money, or they don't know they don't have the wisdom in terms of I'm just a bit
they've got a misconception of what money is. So they believe that the paper in their hand is the achievement.
So therefore they will spend money, right?
They will do things to access vast amounts of money, like sell drugs or make hit and so believe that is the end product. Now they've made it where other races, that's the starting point of achieving real power, which is land, property, businesses, developing this community, schools, medical services.
Right. So therefore, right, you will have a certain amount of understanding and wisdom. You understand what I'm saying?
It's the application of what?
Application. But have a certain amount of wisdom. What I'm saying, that if someone comes into money, right, individual on the street comes into money, where will he spend the money on?
Can I just say something? Basically, what's happened is, even as I said, you look at most of the corner shops, they can't speak English. They've never been to because it's basic requirements. The basic requirements as a family. You need food, shelter, clothing, warmth, and you need to have a good system where if you're gonna intermarry or whatever, a good knowledge. That is what real life is about, is developing. The money aspect is the device to develop the family. We have been educated to fall in love with just having the money, and we're in love with the money.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that. But the argument I'm trying to say that an average person on the road, right, don't have that kind of insight. Right, he will spend the money into the
local shops. The children,
they spend money back into the system. Right.
It depends what community, because the children I saw there's some children in a sweet shop. The children in the sweet shop who've never been to school.
No, I'm talking about our people.
Yeah, but I'm going to show you. The children in the sweet shop knew how much every product. They was playing a game where they knew how much every product in the shop cost. Our children came into the shop and they was playing a game how much they want to spend on the product. So basically, one race of people knows the value of having assets for other people to spend on. We know how much we want to spend on the assets that other people have. So we're constantly giving away our ability to obtain power.
And why is that though?
It's because it's by design. I'll let Theo, because I'm going to have to leave, unfortunately, now. And I'm bailing out because there's some good questioning from Duggie as well. So it's my good excuse to take a run. I'll send my. So, Theo, I'd like to come and I'd like to thank everybody. Duggie, splendid again. Keeping the ship going. And we'll be giving you some. Also, do remember this Monday, the trial of Dr. Abu Ratata takes place. So make sure you're there. If you want information, go to the Speakers Club YouTube channel. Just type in on Google YouTube the Speakers Club YouTube channel, and you can find all the information in relation to that, or check the Speakers Club webpage. We'll also get our event coming up on August the 5th. Right, stay strong and start to take your mind to redefine yourself. One of the key aspects what we're talking about today is controlling your time. Focus your mind, bring forth what is vague into reality, bring it into the present, then enacting it becomes a memory, and you've created your own universe. Sorry, Theo, it's time for you to come in. Boom.
Yeah, Theo, you want to come in upon us now, Theo?
Well, no, I was enjoying that again, but I'm just going to say, I mean, because it was progressing beyond the actual comment I was going to be making, so I'm kind of bringing it back to a certain point. But just before Jammers heads out, I mean, some of the argument I see as relevant. Others aspects of it I'm not too certain, because I think the bottom line, as far as I see it, because you've made this question about money in combination with wisdom and how effective that more or less combination is.
Money and wisdom equals power. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Yeah. Well, no. Money has no intrinsic value. Wisdom does.
Money.
So you're more or less talking about really. You're not so much talking about whether money and wisdom combined equal power. You're talking about really. Well, I'm not telling you. I'm seeing it in the fact that I'm seeing it from the standpoint that wisdom, when acquired, makes better use of any resource.
That's right.
You see,
that's right.
Not necessarily so much that we can say, well, money and wisdom equals power. Wisdom is the thing that has intrinsic value, and money is the thing that does not. Which is why money has to be manipulated in order to gain value that it doesn't actually have by imposing things like interest rates on people,
right.
And then also controlling the nature of international trade and commerce throughout the world in order to make certain money or currency hold more value than others in terms of what its purchasing power is. See, all of that with a shift in consciousness, which is like more or less related to wisdom, not just about money, but about the very nature of the cultural profile of this world and how it works, changes the nature of that whole idea. Because when you say money and wisdom, you're talking about a certain accumulation of a certain kind of money.
All right. Let me just explain what I'm saying. What I've realized, right, within the system, right, a man or individual, if they got money, keep them dumb, keep them stupid, so that money does not go to their people. And we're talking about people like who? Tiger Woods, Tyson, to some extent Michael Jackson, right? And there's so many of those people out there, right? And what it is that, right, they've realized that money and wisdom equals power. Look at those people who had the wisdom but never had the money to put their dreams to reality. You see where I'm going with this, though,
well,
right?
I'm thinking. So what I'd want really, I think before we even went down that road, we should have actually been. We should have set the ground rules on what exactly we're calling power and what exactly we're calling wisdom. This is something that came up in another recent discussion or discourse that was taking place with the Honourable Dr. Abu, and the language, we've already briefly touched on that and how important that is, and how on the symbology of it all and what exactly is being certain ideas, and how the logic can be misleading. So it's important for us to all get our heads around what we're talking about when we say power, and then how does the wisdom in combination with the acquisition or accumulation of money assist in maintaining that power or even building it. You see? So then otherwise we're kind of like talking about really kind of obscure ideas, and we're just kind of like saying, because we have to be certain about, for ourselves and for everyone listening, this is what we're talking about. This is the kind of power that we want to acquire, attain,
Yes, sir.
and and for longevity.
Well, when we're talking about wisdom, I mean, we can go on and on about wisdom, but wisdom, we're talking about self-empowerment, self-reliance, self in terms of doing things for ourselves. We're talking about race first, where Jam was talking about other race people look for themselves first. In fact, I'm sorry to cut you there, Theo, but we do have Vasco in the wings here. Vasco, sorry to Vas?
Yes, I'm here, brother Duggie.
Oh, how you been? You good?
Yeah, I'm cool, man, as usual.
All right then, that's good.
What about yourself?
Yeah, that's good. Me and Theo and Jam was having a quite interesting discussion talking about wisdom and power and all that, you know, and what is wisdom.
You and who else?
This is brother Theo Vasco. We was last time I saw you was at Chestnut there at Duggie's event. How you doing?
Right, brother Theo and did you say James?
So again?
Who else? Brother Theo and who else?
And Jam's just left, but it's just me and Theo.
Right, okay, right. And you're having a conversation about
quite interesting conversation, you know what I mean? And it's quite interesting. We're talking about what is wisdom and what is power and so forth, you know. So let me ask you, what is wisdom and what is power to you? Just throw you straight into it.
But you were talking about it, so I should be the one asking the question.
No. Just since you come in, we just like to throw you straight in the deep end. And how do you look at wisdom?
Well, what is wisdom? To begin with, wisdom is feminine.
Sorry, wisdom is
feminine.
Feminine, okay. That's interesting.
You don't read your Bible. The Bible says wisdom has her place. So the Bible tells you it's feminine because more women have it than men, apparently. But no, seriously, wisdom, knowledge over and above what is normal would be my description of wisdom. Yes? And a wise and sagacious person would be a mentor, a baba, a priest, somebody you can turn to and discuss anything of relevance and get a practical, common sense answer. That's my understanding of what wisdom is, okay? But, you know, a man could be wise in one particular area and not in the other.
It's true.
And you know what a specialist is? A specialist is a man who has wisdom, but he knows more and more about less and less. Okay? So, wisdom can be all-encompassing in that a man has a broad repertoire that he can talk about, and wisdom can also be confined to one particular topic, so you could be wise in that particular topic. But back to my original definition, and that is knowledge over and above what is normal, then that person is a wise person, in my opinion.
Okay, that's a good insight from you, Vasco. Cause we've kind of pick up some stuff from there. Wisdom is feminine, and I never heard anybody talk about it. You heard anybody talk about that to you? Wisdom is feminine, Theo?
They don't read the Bible.
Well, I mean, I've just now been introduced to that, so. But of course, you can look at the whole. You can see the correlation between that and other kind of associations with, you know, that feminine kind of aspect being.
Oh yes.
You know, because particularly when you look at, for example, when you study the Orisha, for example, and you see that that Oshun is like a very wise and you know, very as the word Vasco used, sagacious, and she was very much a master negotiator, and was instrumental in saving the destruction of all of nature and the rest of the Orishas by being the only one who could actually appeal to the what was it? I think it's Olodumare or Obatala, who's the only one who could actually do that level of ambassadorship in order to actually set things right. So you can see in that kind of personification, the wisdom, the negotiation, those kind of skills was associated with the female deity in the form of Oshun in that respect. So yeah, not necessarily always having to refer to the Bible for it, but there are examples are replete throughout other kind of pantheons in terms of those things.
But remember too, when it comes to the feminine, yes, we are talking here about inner sight. Insight, we are talking about inner intuition, yes? And they're more intuitive than the logical left brain man who wants everything to be rational and logical. And when you get insight and intuition, that is wisdom and knowledge that's coming from above from a different source.
Mm.
I don't know if that makes sense.
Okay, slightly different question, Vasco, and it's probably not the area that you're phoned up to discuss, but here's a little question. I like to put this question out there. So, these attributes that are normally associated with energies, not necessarily being called masculine and feminine energies, right?
Yeah.
Would those attributes and energies still exist if they were not called masculine and feminine?
Oh, yes, yes. I mean, they're only what we call monikers, names attributed to these energies. But normally, when we're talking about energy, we're talking about positive and negative, especially when it comes to electricity and magnetism.
Mm.
Yeah. We can talk about all kinds of different types of energies. For instance, when you're talking about the chakras, which I'll be talking about at the day after tomorrow, we're talking about two energies called the Pingala, which is the male energy that flows up the spine when you're meditating, and the Ida. And these names come in from India. Yeah? And of course, you're talking about Qi, which is the Chinese energy and power, yes?
Yeah.
And in Pakistan and India, they call it prana. All of this is energy. And only the names will change according to the culture.
That's right, yeah.
The region that the person is in. But basically, they're all talking about the same thing. For instance, in India, the East, when they practice the Kundalini, raising the Kundalini up the spine, that serpent energy, which is both spiritual and sexual energy, they call it Kundalini. Now, in Zulu, it is called Umbalini, but it's the same energy.
Sorry, Vasco. Kundalini, what? Is it the same thing? What's Kundalini? Is it the same thing like chakras? What's Kundalini again?
Well, it's connected to the chakras. It's part of the chakras, yes. And when you meditate, that electrical energy, because it's really electrical energy, rises up the spine, yes?
Is it
pushes up to the pineal gland.
Okay.
Is it too unrefined to say Kundalini more or less, or painted with broad strokes, speaks of the spiritual life force, yeah?
Yes, it's the same thing. The spiritual, sexual life force. You can't separate them. They're one and the same. Yeah? But in Zulu, as I said, it's called Umbalini, which is a different name for the same thing.
Okay.
Okay, that's quite interesting. So, this kind of leads on neatly then. So, Saturday you'll be at the Mahat Center, yeah?
Yes, I'll be talking about the chakras, yeah? The 7 chakras, and I'll be using the Bible quite a lot, because the Bible talks about them quite a lot.
About the chakras.
Oh yes. From Jacob in Genesis down to Revelation, the Bible is talking about chakras. But people don't see them.
Okay.
So I don't want to give the game away. I want people to come and hear on Saturday.
Come on Saturday. Okay. So tell me something. So what time Saturday then?
Well, it is booked from 3 to 8. People usually turn up about 4, as you know. I believe that Brother Tahaka and 2 others will be presenting before I get a chance to go on. So possibly I'll be on around about 6 o'clock.
Okay then.
Yeah.
Okay then.
But now back to the topic of power and energy. Power, what is power? You can define power as the ability to control others. That's power. Yeah. Power can be electrical, it can be magnetic, it can be, one of those unseen forces that help control the physical life or help control life in general. Because what is happening, according to the science, only 4% of energy, which is power, is physical. 96% of it is invisible. Okay? So we have magnetic energy, which you can't see. We have electrical energy, which you can't see. We have gas, which is energy, which you can't see. We have
can't see,
nuclear thing, energy that you can't see. So the idea is that power and energy being of a similar ilk, but you really can't see them. They're there.
Oh.
And they impact on human life in different ways.
Oh, okay. Fasco, let people know where it's gonna be Saturday. Because Theo's asking where it's gonna be Saturday. Where's it gonna be Saturday? The address.
The Maat Centre, which is 366 High Road, Tottenham, N17.
Okay.
Not far from the police station, between the police station and the road that takes you to Tottenham Hill.
Okay. Well, make it quite clear. We're now going to the police station. It's not too far from the police station. You know?
No, hold on. If you're coming from the Edmonton end, yes,
yeah,
come past Tottenham police station, and there's a row of houses set back from the road with a little car park in front. That's before you get to the traffic lights that would take you to Tottenham Hill.
Right.
And the 366 is one of those buildings.
All right.
Last month I spoke about the spirituality of sex, which had everybody asking me questions why I chose that topic, and then afterwards they were asking me a different question: when am I going to present it again? So this month I'm talking about the chakras, and next month, August, I'll be talking about understanding the Christ within.
Understand the Christ in.
All three of these are wrapped up in each other. Yes.
Okay then.
Yep.
That'd be quite interesting. Lecture. You know, in terms of
human development. Human spiritual development, and a lot of it is happening now, right this minute as we speak. Right. But a lot of people don't understand that the Bible, in addition to having to do with human development, it is also astrology from Genesis.
Astrology, yeah, it's true. And
that's happening now.
Would you say?
Sorry.
No, sorry to jump in like that, Vasco. But my mind what comes to mind? Would you say that the Bible is a lot to do with personal development?
Yes, the Bible has a lot to do with personal development, spiritual development. But people who take it literally are missing the whole idea. Yes, they're missing the power that the Bible brings to people. Because even in the Bible, all the characters, the main characters, are telling you that it's an allegory and it shouldn't be taken literally. And yet people take it literally. But when you read it as an allegory or as parables and decipher them, you can see that it's a very, very, very deep, important book. Okay? And talking about power, I mean, right now, we are in the age of awakening. People are becoming wiser. People are becoming aware of things that have been hidden, you know. And when I talk about things that are hidden, I'm not just only talking about knowledge. I'm talking about secrets that people have kept from the masses of people, you know, like the ability, like Nikola Tesla, one of the greatest inventors nobody's ever heard about. He invented some equipment, I believe, that could generate electricity for everybody in the world free of charge. Yet nobody's ever heard about it. It's never been made public.
Hold on, say that again. What was that?
A gentleman called Nikola Tesla.
Yeah.
Yeah. Invented some means of producing electricity from the air outside, from nothing. And this invention was so radical that it could, if it had been rolled out to the public, would have generated electricity for everybody in the world free of charge.
Whoa.
And that technology has been suppressed. Yeah? But again, you know, there are lots of other technologies that have been suppressed. And part of this awakening that's taking place is bringing these things to the fore, making people aware, putting the power back into the hands of the masses rather than a few selected people.
Selected people, yeah. Yeah.
So that is another form of power. Power to the masses.
That's
yeah?
true. Absolutely right. But I want to jump here, and because as Theo said, he heard your presence. He was very impressed with you when you was at St. Anne's Library, not Chestnut, Theo. You said Chestnut at St. Anne's Library.
Oh, the little prostate thing I did.
You said Chestnut, yeah. At St. Anne's Library, couple weeks ago, and you was talking about the prostate, right? And I know that's as many subjects you talk about. I know from obviously talking about the prostate and so forth, and even up to now, people still impressed with your lecture, and the interesting thing with not only yourself but other people there as well, because I would say a good at least 6% of the people that were there, I don't really know them. The first time they've been to one of the events we've had, and they were very impressed. In fact, Dawn was telling me that people still talking about, and it's quite interesting that when we hear your presentation, because you was very thorough and cover, and I know you could still talk a bit more. I know you had probably a 2-hour presentation you prepared, but we gave you 45 minutes.
Hold on. I'm going to take issue with you, Duggie. You admit it was a little bit short, but the thing about it is that whenever I make a presentation for you, it's a short presentation. I never get a chance to make a long one.
Yeah, well, I go already, right? But the thing is that people not aware of it. That Vasco talks a lot on different kind of subject, but I mean he does not talk around prostate. In fact, you done a presentation the day before. Was it in Leicester about prostate cancer?
About a month ago, yes, I was in Leicester.
You was in Leicester,
and then the following Saturday I was in Birmingham.
Okay then, and
I've got 2 invitations pending. One is in London. And then back to Birmingham, and possibly going to Cyprus.
If you're going to Cyprus, in fact, it's quite interesting, right? Very interesting. Yeah. And I don't think it was here. We had a brother from Cyprus just phoned in, and he talks about health. He's a good friend of the what we call the Miracle Man. That's Colin. Colin knows you quite well.
Colin.
That's the foot massage. He knows of you because Colin's from Wolverhampton, but when you was in Birmingham, he was there. And
Colin, yes. It was Colin I spoke to. Yes.
Yeah, because
it was Colin who was talking about Cyprus. Yes.
Yes. Okay then. In fact, I don't think it was there when I was talking to the
because he heard my presentation in Birmingham.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Yeah. And in fact, before you phoned, there was a brother he was from Cyprus. His name is Michael Reed. Yeah, Michael Reed.
I can't say I know him.
Yeah, I was telling him about you. I was telling him about you. Now you're saying that you're going to Cyprus, right?
I didn't say I'm going. I said I may have an invitation to go.
Oh, I beg your pardon. Right,
yeah.
But if you do go, you're definitely gonna meet up with this brother called. That's what he does. He does a lot of stuff around health, blood analysis and the mind and all that stuff. They're just talking about the kind of stuff, and he was talking about the prostate, diabetes, and all that stuff there. So it's quite interesting.
Yeah, well, the chakras, which I'll be talking about on Saturday, day after tomorrow, that is all connected. You see, in Western allopathic medicine, they see the body as separate little bits hacked together. Whereas in the Eastern and African traditions, the body is one complete entity.
Yeah.
Okay? And your mind and your spirit and all those are different aspects of the same entity. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You can't separate them. Because you know as well as I do, that if a person has a physical ailment, and that physical ailment can impact their mind, it can impact their brain, it can impact how they think, it can give them depression. But if you eat certain foods and live a certain lifestyle, and your body starts to heal and starts to feel better, then it has a knock-on effect on your brain, your mind, your mood. Yes, all of those then fall into sync. So the body is is taking in this food and it's repairing its entire self, not just one part of itself.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I see. Yeah, I see what you're saying, but you see, what it comes down to, and Theo's inside the house already, but I want to ask some questions when he's ready. That's why we need people like you to inform the community when it comes to your thing about health, because, and in fact, Dave was saying that it's only one health, that's bad health, and I agree with him. It's only one just bad health, you know.
No. I beg to differ on that one.
Okay then.
Yeah. Remember, everything is duality, and the minute you talk about this one health and that's bad health, you also have to say what's the opposite to bad. That's good. So you have bad health and good health.
Oh, right. From you said that, you're right. You're saying that. There.
Everything in the world is duality.
Yeah. You're absolutely said. You absolutely. Yeah. I'm in a total agreement from you. From you said that, you know. But
absolutely.
Just to let people know, because when it comes to, in fact, I want to say that because I don't spoke to Errol recently, McKellar, because he when I met the Prime Minister the other day, I think it was a couple weeks ago on a Wednesday, he told me an appointment. Did he tell you that?
No, I don't get a call from Errol at all. I don't have any communication with him at all.
Okay, then you don't get a chance to talk to. But he was telling me you met the Prime Minister, talk about the whole thing about the series of the prostate. I just thought I'd just bring that to your attention, because I know Errol is.
Oh yeah, well it's good for him. Yes.
Yeah,
he's met the Prime Minister because his story is one that has caught the imagination and resonates with a lot of people. Yeah. So,
definitely.
I'm delighted that he's met the Prime Minister. I'm not going to be political and say that she's not one of my favorite people. Following on from the Venrush fiasco, but
yeah, you're absolutely right.
She's the Prime Minister, so afford her the respect due her office. And I'm glad that he's met her and he's moving in those circles.
But just to I'm going to ask you about the prostate. Why is it there's so many black men, and we talk about here, the Caribbean, America, probably all over the world, suffer from prostate. Why is it affects mostly black men?
Well, nobody really knows. Nobody's been able to pin it down, but I'm doing quite a bit of research in that area, and I'm coming up with some intriguing ideas, some of which I mentioned at St. Anne's Library. One was the estrogen testosterone imbalance, but also one that comes to mind as we speak is the fact that white men have more selenium in their prostate than black men.
More selenium, yeah?
Yeah. Selenium, as you know, is a trace mineral, which you can get from Brazil nuts or coriander.
Right.
Green leaf, coriander. Some people call it cilantro. Right. Well, those are two of the places where you can get a lot of selenium from. And I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but it's one of the points that stuck in my mind when I was doing my research. White men have more selenium in their prostate glands than black men. So that could be one of the reasons why, but nobody has been able to definitively pin it down and say, yes, this is the reason.
So there isn't no clear-cut answer then, really, we could say?
No.
Okay, then. Okay.
No clear-cut answer. And as you know, if any research is carried out on black people, the findings are usually suppressed.
Okay then, absolutely. Theo, do you want to ask a question, Theo?
Hi, Vasco.
Hi, Theo.
Yeah, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm cool, man. I'm cool.
So
I'm much better. I'm talking to you.
Oh, of course. Likewise. So, just listening here, because I especially when it comes to the more social and cultural and political aspects of how we interact with other people, and often there comes this saying that and I'd like to hear your general response to this, is that many people, especially black people, like to, advance the notion that we're all the same under the skin.
Yes, I've heard that, yes.
So what's your initial response?
That's a broad, general term.
Yeah.
Yes, we're not all the same. Every individual is different and unique. Broadly speaking, we are human beings. We are flesh and blood and all that. But every single person is different, and you can't have a one thing catch-all. One thing catches everybody, and one medicine will serve everybody. No, or this solution will serve everybody. No, every single individual is different. Okay, and their bodies react differently to different stimuli. So what may affect you or give you good health may not give me the same quality of health. I may have to tweak mine a little bit or add something else to it. But broadly speaking, we are all one because we're all connected to each other. We are all connected to the ether. Okay? But when you fine-tune it, we are all still separate individuals.
Right. Okay.
I don't know if that makes sense.
Say again?
Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Absolutely. Another thing, because what I was really specifically getting at, but I don't want you to kind of like venture into areas that is going to kind of like reveal too much of what you're going to be talking about over the weekend.
Right.
But
okay.
Last year, you're probably familiar with Brenda Lee. I mean, I sat in with an
oh, my dear friend Brenda. Yes.
Yeah.
The vitamin D lady. The vitamin D lady.
I haven't seen her in a while. So, but a very interesting presentation she was giving, and she was speaking about how a lot of misdiagnosis takes place, especially amongst us, because the standards and levels and the kind of benchmarks that they set for actually diagnosing certain ailments are actually different.
With John Hopkins, I showed this slide at St. Anne's Library last Sunday. The John Hopkins Hospital, which for the last several years, probably 20-some years, has been voted America's #1 hospital, put out a statement in 2013 saying that black men who were diagnosed with prostate cancer, say 6 on the Gleason score, should always add 1 digit to that number because the equipment they use is not calibrated for blacks. So if that applies to prostate cancer, then ask yourself a simple question: what else does it apply to?
Well, I've heard that there's been a lot of misdiagnosis when it comes to like HIV and AIDS.
Yeah.
So that's one area where I think this has been happening quite a lot. So a lot of people have been told they have HIV when they actually do not, for the same kinds of yes. So I think there's that.
These things happen, and with the prostate as well, you had a lot of false positives, where men have been diagnosed with prostate cancer when in fact they don't have it.
It's true.
Right across the board.
Yeah, it's true. You're absolutely right.
We had a big scandal in America.
No, you're right.
A couple of years ago, where doctors have been actually saying that people had diseases when they knew very well that the people did not have those diseases, but of course they could then recommend treatments and claim off the insurance.
Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right.
And make billions for pharmaceutical companies, of course.
See, that's right. It's all coming out in the open.
No,
this is the awakening.
Yeah, but just to back up what you're saying and what Theo's saying, there's a brother, is it Keeley? He was here recently. I know him as Conscious Rasta. He was here. This brother called Harold brought him over, right? And we done an interview and we was talking about prostate. Is it Quaku? Quady. From this, it's based in the States, right? He was here a few months ago.
Oh yes, the chef.
The chef, that's it. The master chef.
Yes, I actually went to one of his sessions in Broccoli. Yes.
Okay then, but he was saying that what you're saying, you're absolutely right. There's a whoop misinformation. We are coming out about prostate cancer, and in fact, there's a book he told us to look at. I can't remember the name of the book, but something like the biggest myth when it comes to the thing about prostate cancer. So I just want to back up what you and Theo was just saying, really, based on what the brother was saying on his phone in.
Yeah, well, Dr. Jonathan Wright hit it on the head when he said that, and this is across the board, not black and white, yes, this is just across the board, that the modern paradigm on which they model treatment for prostate cancer is based on one that was created back in the 1940s or 50s. Where they saw that they came to the conclusion that testosterone was the problem, yeah? And anytime you go to be treated for prostate cancer, the first thing that you do is reduce your testosterone. And in actual fact, 2 days ago, I went on my in my inbox on the internet, and lo and behold, there's a famous physician there called John Barron, and he's written a beautiful article about the same thing. Testosterone is not the issue. High testosterone is not the issue. The issue is estrogen, not testosterone. But if you want to increase your testosterone, the last thing you want to do is get a testosterone injection, because that may trigger prostate cancer. If you're going to raise your testosterone, which is the main male hormone, if you want to raise that, do it naturally by eating certain foods and exercising, getting rid of your pot belly, getting rid of your man boobs, and, you know, raise your testosterone level, because we're talking about a hormonal imbalance between testosterone and estrogen. And I also made the point that from the time a man reaches 30, his testosterone starts to drop off by about 10% every 10 years. So by the time he gets to 40, he's now got 90% of his testosterone. By the time he gets to 50, he's got 80%. 60, he's got 70%. Now, if the testosterone is dropping, something's got to be taking its place. And that thing is estrogen, the female hormone.
That's the female hormone. Estrogen is the female hormones, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, then testosterone is the male hormones.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
Sorry, Vasco.
That's what gives you your libido. And ironically, let me get this in quickly. Low testosterone can also trigger heart problems.
Heart problems.
Yeah. So you see, it's vitally important that from the time a man starts to hit his 40s, he should start looking closely at his balance, at the balance between his testosterone and his estrogen, and start taking steps to maintain his level of testosterone without having to go later on to get a testosterone jab or something like that.
Okay then.
So yeah, it just made me think of something else. Very well recently now, and I think it's over the counter now, isn't it? What are the sort of what are the implications health wise of this new trend in men taking lots of Viagra?
So say that again.
Viagra. So this the trendy libido boosting drug. So is that something you'd recommend, or as with most things, there are a hell of a lot of pitfalls for the use of that?
Hold on. Viagra is not a libido boosting drug.
Okay, I stand corrected.
You have to have the libido first before Viagra works.
Okay.
What Viagra does, it gives you the sexual energy to carry on, to function, yes, to have engaged in the sexual act.
Okay.
You can't take Viagra and expect it to turn you on and raise your libido. It doesn't work that way. You have to have some libido before the Viagra works.
Which kind of defeats the object, because if you have sufficient libido, you'd have no real requirement for Viagra, right?
Yeah. Without the libido, the Viagra is useless.
Yeah.
You can take it till the cops come home. And ironically, in yesterday's Evening Standard, there was an article about men and young men between up to the age of 40 or 44, and they've been watching so much pornography that when they get in the bedroom with their girlfriends and wives and partners, they can't perform. Did you see that in yesterday's Evening Standard?
No, but I've still got mine. I'll have a look and read through that.
Yeah, it's fascinating. I read it and I thought to myself, oh boy, this really is something interesting. I've got it here in front of me. I've just been and taken it up because I'm going to keep this article. I'm not going to throw it away. And what it says here, rise in young men who seek help for impotence after watching web porn. Yeah?
So
that's Evening Standard, page 11.
So
yesterday.
So Vasco.
Doctors are prescribing Viagra for them.
Oh dear. So the funny thing is, the thing about it though, Vasco, just like staying on that subject, but years and years ago, I was watching a presentation on video by Wayne Chandler, and he spoke about the sexual energy, which I didn't see your most recent presentation on that, but he also talked about, you see, there's a balance between expending so much of your energy through sex. You see?
Oh yes, conserving the seed.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
So in that,
that's what I spoke about last month. That's what I was speaking about.
Right. So in that respect, then Viagra is not necessarily an advisable course to be taking, really, because there's gonna be a trade-off.
Yeah, there's got to, absolutely, there's got to be a trade-off. But you see, if young men were taught early on in life about conserving the seed, then the evidence shows that they'd be able to make love longer. Yeah, they would be healthier. And the vitamins and minerals that are squirted out into the world every time they send those little tadpoles out by having an ejaculation, those minerals and vitamins would be conserved in the body. It would strengthen the prostate gland. It would help the brain as well. And those men would live longer and be able to have sex in old age.
Okay.
Yep. So the youngsters have got to be taught from now how to be responsible lovers. In other words, don't go scattering your oats all over the place, because the evidence is also being shown that if a young woman has 3, 4, 5 partners, when she does have a baby, that baby has the characteristics of all her previous partners. That's being shown as well.
Okay then. That's
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Woo.
Yeah. So all of these things come into play, and you know, and on my radio program last Sunday, my guest Rosie and I were talking about a new not new, but a sexually transmitted disease, and she was postulating that the next big epidemic is going to be throat cancer. Because there are a lot of people practicing anal sex. I don't think it's sex, that's buggery, that's not sex. And then going on to practice oral sex. And the bacteria are, they're not all dead. They'll wash sometime, but some of these bacteria are becoming resistant to different treatments. And when these people practice the anal sex and then go and practice the oral sex, then some of those bacteria will lodge in the throat, and esophageal and throat cancer are likely results of that.
Whoa. Okay.
So that's the next big epidemic that's coming.
That's serious. Okay, Vasco, I wonder if you can give out your details, your website, and your email address and etc., so people can make contact with you.
Right. My website is blackhealth.co.uk. Okay, that's one of them. The other website is focusedhealth.co.uk. FOCUSED.com. That's FOCUSED, Healthy Life, all one word, .com. And if you go on and click on from the main menu About Us, there's a little video there about myself and some others, including Sister Kendaki, talking about herbs, spices, the prostate, other ailments and all that. And what we're trying to do here, we're trying to put together a big seminar next year sometime. And we want people to go on that website and register. Just put your name, your email address, and your telephone number, so that once we pin things down and we find a location, we can then send out invitations to everybody to come to this seminar that we are planning. We're trying to get about 5,000 people there.
Oh, it's a big seminar.
So we got to start from now, and I would ask people and encourage them to just register. There's a drop-down little box there that asks for your details. Just put them in there, and bingo, away we go. Okay? So that's 2 sites they can get me at. If they want to talk to me personally or have a one-to-one consultation, they can get me on 0772 556 7262. 0772 556 7262. Or Vasco Stevenson at yahoo.co.uk.
Okay then. Give thanks. Sorry, Theo, you want to find a question you want to answer on Vasco's? You've got any burning question, Theo?
No, that was fine. But Vasco, it's been wonderful listening to you, man. I mean, I think to myself, I'm definitely going to be passing through on Saturday, because it's always interesting, it's always enlightening. But, so
come along on Saturday, bring your friends with you,
Yeah.
And join the discussion, because all I'm here to do, anything that I have, any area that I have a little bit of knowledge in, I'm willing to share that knowledge with other people.
Okay.
Yep.
Fantastic.
So that's all I'm doing, sharing knowledge.
Thank you so much, Vasco. Wonderful.
Vasco,
beautiful.
thanks again, yeah?
My pleasure, Duggie. Anything for you. And don't forget, you owe me half a pint of cider from last time.
Yeah, definitely. Owe you a pint of cider. All right.
So tonight, that's a pint of cider now, yeah? 2 half pints.
No problem.
All right, I'll hold you to that.
All right, I'll make sure I have your cider.
All right, Duggie, yeah.
And Theo is my witness. Okay.
Okay.
All right, then.
That's right. My pleasure.
Fantastic.
Cheers.
Thanks again.
Bye for now.
So we had a great man, Vasco, online with us. Okay.
But in the sense that he's saying that he has caused it to stop, but yet still you really want something bad happen to somebody else because you direct it into something else or somewhere else.
Well, I don't know if it's him directed there. I don't know if it's him directed there. I think it's just nature carry go there, so I think it's nature don't make it come there, so I did.
But actually, as you know, we speak about the storm, it's really the collective energy that we had here that pushed it away, and I firmly believe so.
All right, so what's the time when it leak like what eating now? There was no collective energy there.
I don't think so.
And there was a collective energy in Florida.
I don't think so.
And none on the side of Cuba.
I don't think so.
And that sound pious to you?
No, because I tell you what, right? It's the oneness and the
so what to Gilbert now? What to Gilbert?
Huh?
What to Gilbert now? When Gilbert mashed up the whole of Jamaica the other day.
We needed an awakening.
You see? All right, you see? All right.
I wasn't here to blow it away.
No. All right. But I explain, all right.
Everybody in Jamaica thought it was a COVID.
Stick up in. This is my little problem with these ideas now. One, if the thing leak, a man say, well, people never did a prayer enough. But if it don't leak, people say, sister, we didn't pray hard enough.
But it could be so, though.
No, I never said it couldn't be so. I am saying that's the problem I have with the thing.
Would he get complacent in Gilbert?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, but absolute reserve, because nobody thought it would come.
No.
And that is why that
nobody prayed.
Energy wasn't there. That critical mass wasn't formed to repel it.
What happened to the number one?
It would come.
All right, so what happened to the killing the Guana Jamaica when nobody else, nowhere else in the world it a go on so? How the religious mind work?
Well, the religious mind say now that Christ, God give us free will, you know.
No, me know, but what me I say now, in terms of the people them who are says them stop the storm. Why these people?
We can't have that collective energy.
That collective energy now to stop the crime.
Maybe we're just not tapping into.
But I'd prefer you stop the crime than the storm.
But we need the politicians.
I'd prefer. You stop the crime, than stop the storm.
We need the politicians.
No, I see you because at least the storm.
That's right.
The storm a mash up place. The gun that kill people. I'd prefer you stop the crime than to stop the storm. Trust me.
Well, maybe what we need to do collectively, right, is put that energy into it. And I think, and I tell you what, right, the people who lead our nations, you know, right, is a very important set of people, you know, because they are put in a place, you understand, of authority, right? And, you know, if we want to be truthful, it is some of the same politicians who give the same little man a gun.
Yeah, but they have an overposition, don't give nobody no gun. And they use them get it themselves.
Absolutely, absolutely.
They come down in a barrel on TV.
Yeah, but that seed was planted 30 years ago.
Yeah. No, we not say no. We just say, you know, like, I could put the table on the table so now. A lot of the gun them are coming in the country. I know politician I bring them.
No.
A drugs man I bring them in.
Absolutely.
You know, get a man who have contacts are foreign, who have certain little barrel around now. I don't know politician.
Yeah, but
the politician them gun, they don't turn legal gun now.
Where it started.
It started the politician them. It started the politician them.
And their minds have not been changed.
No.
Yeah.
You know, so it's encouraged. That's why I'm thinking that I think all the politicians that are listening listen to the secret, and them can get it from me.
But you ask, no, but you said an important thing. Why is it that people like Almino, etc., can't get together and you know, create that same force that repel the hurricane and repel the bloodshed?
And
you know why? You know, but you know why? You know why? Because that's what happened now.
Yeah.
Them doubt themselves.
Who, Carol?
No, not Carol.
Carol,
No, hello. Listen, the fact of the matter is that they think that the problem is so much greater.
Who's they?
They're the people who you are asking that you assume have the ability, or say they had the ability to repel this hurricane.
I am not assuming. They say.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Carol just say.
Yes.
That part of the blowing way was part of our chanting. And Al Miller say, the Christian them prayed. And your sister.
My sister the Christian.
Your sister the Christian just say, yes, it's a collective thing. So why I'm saying to you now.
Because the energy not there.
So yes,
and the energy not there because of their own fear.
Carol.
Because them not looking at God, because of them own fear. Them doubt so them can do it because the problem is so insurmountable.
Yeah, me no Delphos.
You know, there's a saying in a muta that fear kills and hope builds.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And if we live by that, you understand, and live, because we have not even tapped into a fraction of what our mind power is.
Definitely not.
You understand?
Definitely not.
And if we really, you know, come to a certain base, right, and decide to really tap into a certain energy, then we are able to do great things that we can.
Okay, then just listen to the great man Muta Baruka.
Maybe on another program,
yeah.
we can talk about something else that I can tell you that
the cutting edge.
With my own self.
Yeah.
Right?
Everybody have
talking about the secret. So again, we had Vasco on the line just reasoning with us. And very shortly we'll be joined by brother Lyndon. We'll be talking about diabetes. We had Vasco touching a little bit around health, prostate. And you know, he's a very verse man. And we also have Theo inside the house and also the great man Jammers.
Temptation and deliver us from evil. They still
the evil and the devil thing like that.
You're still saying
the negative.
Yes, God is going to help you. God is going to help you. Whatever you want to call it, but you still say, oh, the devil this, and oh, somebody on the obia, you say you have to go to church, and it is still there.
So yeah, so them a draw that the law of attraction as Steve say. you're still in the negative if you do it at the positive.
Exactly. And usually give more energy to the negative because the Christian, they give more energy to the devil, you know. When you hear them in church, they're talking more about the devil than they're talking about
and
God.
More about living.
And more about God.
True.
And allowing individuals to...
All right, let me ask a question. Let me ask a blown question, you know. Isn't it possible that because we keep God alive, the devil will always be alive? So in order to eliminate the devil, would have eliminated God?
Say that again.
All right, listen to me. Listen to me.
That's emulated.
All right, the reason.
That's yourself.
No, wait. There's a notion in Western civilization that you have God out there, so, and you have the devil out there, so. So anything bad happen, you blame God. Good happen, you blame God. Anything bad happen, you blame devil. All right, so what may I say? Isn't this possible that in order to eliminate the devil, we would have to eliminate God? Because it is the devil, if it is the devil that is keeping God alive, or God that is keeping the devil alive. Well, so because we know that there's a negative and a positive, you can't have a positive without a negative, and you can't have a negative without a positive. So therefore, it is best in the human psyche to eliminate these two enemies of the human psyche.
All right.
Oh, you see that? Yeah.
How I see this as a Buddhist, right?
Yeah.
I don't see the devil or God as two things out there.
Yeah, I know. I'm talking about Buddhism, you know. I say the Western, that's what I say. The Western mindset create a devil and a God out there. So I am saying to you now.
But that's an illusion.
No, we're not talking about illusion or not, you know.
Only Christian could answer that.
All right, so make me ask your sister.
I'm a Christian.
Make you ask your sister.
Right?
What you think about what I just said a while ago?
The thing about it, right, is that in order to know what is good, you have to know
what is evil.
You perceive as bad.
Yes.
All right? Therefore, it's the mindset as to what is good and what is bad. Because they said that the scripture said, you know, right, that God make good and evil. Huh?
Yeah, well,
good and bad, eh?
Yeah.
So there's
negatives and positives. And a lot of people would say, oh, how the hell is he saying that? Because God is God. You understand? And he's all...
I don't know if the Bible says God make good or evil still. I don't know if the Bible said that. I think people are... I don't know if the Bible said that God make good and God make bad. I think the Bible said that God is good and his man make evil.
No.
Bring evil in upon himself. To we are the Satan.
No, man. Remember, the Christians said that the devil was God's... Yeah, that's right. The God sat at the right hand of God, man. He was his best.
The devil.
His best friend. In essence.
What the devil know in Genesis? No devil never created Genesis, the devil.
The creation story doesn't say anything about who was there with God in the first place.
It just say us.
It didn't say that. It doesn't give any indication that God created those.
Hello. Greetings, Duggie. How are you doing?
Yeah, man. Give thanks, yeah?
Very well, thank you. Very well. Good.
Well, I've been reading your book, and it's funny when you read a man's book, you know, you get to know more about the man, you know. One of them greedy, grublicious man, we get to understand about you. Man, hey, I want people to know that, you see this man here, the reason why him drink a whole heap of drink, you know, cases of, ginger beer and O2 and them thing there. It's because him get a discount from his workplace. And the man flopping trunk with the drinks there. You know, because when you first talk about you drink so much drink and so on, so we get to understand you get for drink so much drink. And choose a chef. You start yam of the people that crumbs and this and that. Yeah, man. You know, and the mother said to him, look at the man's belly. Hey, you know, funny thing is that when our parents talk to us, you know, or big people talk to us, right, it's like someone that thump you in the chest, you know.
Yes, I'm telling you.
Like you get that thump in the chest, you know. Boy, but like I said before, you've become, your message has become your message, see?
Yes.
Yeah, your message become your message. So, look, you know, I want to talk about your book now because, you see, everybody talk about you, you know. right? I want to let people know where can I get all of your book, right? And also talk about why you write the book. See?
I think we'll have to start saying we could get the book from Brother Duggie, you know?
Yeah, boy, I want to get all of some of the book. I have one of your book there already, so I want to get all of some of the books. So I'm going to be one of your ambassadors now.
Go to Brother Duggie's website and get my book. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, Brother Duggie. Thank you very much for having me on your show. I do appreciate it, and for taking time to read the book as well. You know, it's a life-changing situation that I've had through the book, and as some of your listeners may know or they may not know, I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes in October 2015, and within 105 days I reversed it naturally. There's different things they call me. They call me I'm cured, I'm healed, or I'm in control or in remission, whatever it is. But one thing's for sure, I reversed it within 105 days naturally. So I think this is one of the main things regarding around my story, and which explains about it in the book. And some of the people that are, well, a lot of people that are asking me, how did I do it? What's the message in your book of how you've done it? And the main message from my book is mindset, the diet, the exercise, and the fasting. You know, and in my book it explains everything in detail. I talk about foods that people can eat to help them stabilize their blood glucose as well.
Right.
I tell a bit about a story about my cousin who was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, you know, and he reversed his type 1 diabetes, and he was on insulin for a long time, and he managed to wean himself off of insulin, and he's doing okay.
So your cousin, no, how is he? How is your cousin? How's your cousin now anyway?
He's fine now.
He's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. I think as far as I know, he's fine.
He's fine.
You know.
So he had type 2.
Type 1.
Yeah. Oh yeah, type 1. So yeah.
Yeah.
And he's able to reverse it.
2. Yeah.
See.
Yeah, so he's no longer on insulin. No more. You know, so with me now, I'm in full control of my diet, my exercise, my weight. I'll be doing some other experiments with my body and doing things, because on this journey I'm learning more and more about foods, what people are talking about, what to do and what not to do, and how to do certain things, and try this and try that. And I've lost a kilo within about 2 weeks of trying something different, but I've just been living my life as normal, you know. So I don't know, it's from somebody called Dave Murphy, talked about certain things, and I've thought, you know, life, you have one life, why not try certain things? So I'm experimenting at the same time, you know, with my body,
with your body and thing.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you look at so many things around you, so many foods and so many elements in the air. So even yesterday I was watching a program about the pollution within the air, and there's particles that gets inside the body that can go into the bloodstream and block your arteries, you know, and your veins. And there's little things in the air that can do things, and I couldn't believe it, you know. And sometimes we try and eat healthy, we try and exercise, and we do all the right things, and then it's something else that's going to contradict what we're trying to do. You know, so we're fighting a battle every day just to avoid certain aspects of life to stay healthy, but it's harder. It really is harder, you know. So within my books, I got guidelines to, number one, help you from getting diabetes, you know, so you can have a pre-diabetic check. Yeah. So one of the pre-diabetic check is to know what the symptoms are, you know. So what my book will be very, very helpful to people. Number one, if they have like one of the symptoms, frequently urinating, they're excessively hungry for no reason, always tired, unexplained weight loss or weight gain, if they have blurred vision, if they have slow healing of cuts and bruising. One of the ones that's very familiar with a lot of people is numbness in the hands and feet, otherwise known as pins and needles. Another one could be genital itching as well, or thrush.
Yeah, I remember you was talking. Yeah, you did mention in the book there. Yeah.
Yeah, and the reason why I met, to be honest with you, brother Duggie, I wasn't going to talk about that one in the beginning of any conversation I ever had, you know. But when I looked at it, I thought to myself, okay, I saw a program about sexual transmitted diseases, and there's people going there with certain diseases. But I'm saying to myself, I've got a disease, a genital disease. Something's happened here, but what is it? You know, because I've been with my wife for 20 years. I'm a clean person. I don't sleep around. I don't sleep with anybody else. So how did I get this? Where did it come from? You know. So mine came through type 2 diabetes by being diabetic. You know. So with that one, a lot of people have to be careful what they're being diagnosed with. And if you got any of these symptoms, one thing I would suggest is to go and get a blood test from your doctor, and the blood test that they monitor you with to see if you're diabetic or not is a HbA1c. Yeah, the HbA1c measures the average of blood glucose level over a 12-week period,
right?
3 months. It does. So that level should be 42 and below. Yeah, if it's 42 and above, they'll claim it as as type 2 diabetic, sorry. My level was 92. It was.
Yours was 90?
92.
92, okay.
Yeah, and it should have been 42 and below.
42, yeah.
They also done a pinprick blood glucose test with me as well. And the pinprick one, when they put it in your finger, it should have been 5, and mine was 15.9. It was. So mine was very, very high.
Very, very high,
and very, very high. But when they told me I was diabetic, I didn't even understand what diabetes was in the beginning. And I need to know from my doctor or dietitian, what is it, how did I get into this situation? And with my situation, it was too much sugar in the system. Yeah? With type 1 diabetes, type 1 is when the pancreas can't make any insulin at all. Yeah? So what happens there, your pancreas that helps you develop the glucose blood in your body cells, where it is used for energy. Yeah. Type 2 is also when the pancreas doesn't work or can't make enough insulin, and also is when you have too much blood glucose within the blood system, in the glucose, or too much glucose within the blood system. So this is what I had. So I need to know, how did I get into this situation, and what do I need to do to get rid of it as quickly as possible? And the first thing my dietitian went to do is give me medication, metformin, you know. But because my cousin knew about diabetes, he said to me, if you ever get diabetic, you know, be careful of the medication, because there are side effects of it.
Right.
You know. And I was in two minds. Do I listen to my doctor, or do I listen to my cousin? You know. So I said to my doctor, can I just try without the medication? Yeah. And she said, I don't recommend it, but you can. So they booked me for another blood test in another 3 weeks' time. Yeah. And within 3 weeks, I had reversed it from 92 down to 77, my HbA1c. And for them, I wasn't supposed to do that.
Right.
You know, because normally they give you a blood test like once a year or every 6 months, depending on who you are or what you're going through. But I think they were just testing me to see that I'm going to come back in 3 weeks' time and still be the same. Yeah, the same level. But they couldn't believe it when I came back, and it had gone down to 77.
But
you know,
let me jump in here, and also we have Auntie Jean inside the house as well, right?
Greetings.
And the thing is that
greetings.
the thing is that with God, I see a picture of you and your he thought you and my brothers, really, your cousin there, because you resemble Strongman, right? But anybody else in your family
also have diabetes.
My mother has diabetes.
Oh, your mother have diabetes.
Yeah. But my mother had diabetes for a long time. But even when my mom was taking the medication, I didn't know what it was for.
Oh, I see what you're saying. No,
yeah. So when I got onto this journey of reversing my diabetes, I tried so hard to speak to my mom that she doesn't need the medication, and I asked her for blood glucose records and stuff like that, but she hasn't got none of it, you know. So she's due to have another blood test, and I told her, you must find out what a HbA1c is. But because she's been on the metformin for such a long time, you know, it's hard for her to come off it mentally. I said, but Mom, look what I've done, and I can help you. But you know, sometimes it's so
no. It can be challenging, because especially if they've been on it for because, for example, I have a friend, right? He's a big man still anyway, right? And the man of about at least, I'm not exaggerating, over 20 tablets in my take, you know. It might take for diabetes, it might take for the swelling, it might take for high blood pressure, it might take for this. And the things that, when you go in the man yard, he has to have it's funny when you watch him, you know, like every 2 hours, you might have to take a tablet. So you might have to take a tablet for this at that time there. And and it's sad, you know. It's sad. And if you look at him, and when I know him, he was very healthy. You know, very healthy, very mobilized, and you know, as a man move up and down the place, and all of a sudden I just see the man's health deteriorated. But the man that tells me he's not saying he's not aware. He's aware of certain things, but it's the tablets, the medication he's taking, man, is really messed him up. You know what I mean? In fact, I tell how bad it is, right? He doesn't go nowhere.
Wow.
You know.
This destroyed the quality of his life,
yeah,
then, isn't it?
You know, so that's just why. It's the medication. That's why I can understand, because he's been in this thing from unknown for at least about 12 years now.
Oh wow.
You know, 12 years. And the thing that is worrying, because at least once a week I have to keep an eye upon him. Ring him and make sure him all right, because you know you can never know what can happen. And the good thing is he at least ran a corner for me, so yeah, you know.
It's tough nowadays for people who don't understand that they can do things without it, you know. And my question to some of them at the end of the day, whatever they're giving you, do you know what's in it?
No, it's lovely.
You know, what's in it? What's it actually doing for you? You know, I just try and do my best now to stay away from certain foods, ingredients, and just try and live as clean as possible. But
right.
At the end of the day, the more you get into learning about foods and the stuff and ingredients, vegetables, stuff like that, you become more and more wary. You know, because sometimes we don't even know where the stuff's coming from and how it's really grown, or what's being put into it.
Right.
You know, unless you start growing your own things.
Well, you know something. I listened to Muta Baruka, and he was saying that it's more safer to grow your own food, right, onto your plate, into your mouth. You know what I mean? I had to laugh. And in fact, I remember we said, because he was interviewing someone, this guy called oh God, what's the brother's name? He's from St. Lucia. Not Prophet Newton. Anyway, talking about health, and in fact, he was talking to him about diabetes. You know, so you know, we have to think seriously about growing our own food. And
actually, I think at one of your last events, Brother Duggie, I met a lady there who they help and show. They have an organisation that shows people how to do their own grown foods, and they help you even if you're living in a flat. They show you how to grow them indoors as well. You know.
Oh well, so yeah. Oh, that's good. So is it from this? Sorry, it's Auntie Jean here. Hi, Lyndon. So in pots. So they start off in pots. They show you. Do they come to your? They said they come to your house, or do they go to a centre?
No, I'm not 100% sure. I think she arranges events, and then invite people to come in and look and show, and they share with you how you do it. Because I think some they do them in like mushroom boxes as well. You know those mushroom boxes.
Yeah.
There's different ways. But she's on my list to be contact with her in the future. You know.
Oh, brilliant.
Because more and more I learn about these things, I want to implement some of these things that she's talking about in my talks.
Okay.
And maybe get her to come and do a talk about how to do it. Because this is going to be one of the most important things, I think, in the next 5-10 years, even like now, for us to be learning about and knowing about. You know?
Yeah.
Because some of us, we have the garden to do it, but we don't implement it.
We don't utilise it.
Yeah,
sometimes we just pretty up the garden, don't we?
Yeah.
We don't make it functional.
My mum grows tomatoes. My mum grows rosemaries. She grows her own peppers. She does. She got her own aloe vera. She grows lettuce, callaloo. All these things she grows herself. You know?
Yeah.
And it's amazing. And she's still got the mentality. And she's at 88. And she still goes out to the garden.
What's her age?
And still... Pardon?
What's her age?
88.
88?
Yes.
Wow.
And she still goes to the garden to turn off the dirt. She's very active.
Wow. That's absolutely brilliant. I mean, that is inspiring just alone.
Yeah, 100%.
That is inspiring just alone. And is it this lady that this elder who's interested in actually helping other people to grow their own, even if it's in a pot plant?
Yeah, definitely. She's open to, because at the event that I was at, me and her had a very, very good chat, a deep talk about what she's doing, how she's doing it, and she was excited and motivated about sharing it with other people.
Wow. And it just goes to show that the she's eating so healthily that it's keeping her fit as well, and her mind alert, her body active, and still looking for more things and how to help everybody else. That's absolutely amazing. That's absolutely amazing. Wow.
Brilliant. There's so much to learn out there now. There's so much people doing so many things and to understand a lot of things. But I think one day would be a great opportunity for if we have a major weekend event where we've got all these people from the Afro-Caribbean community. We come together, put an event, and we have major speakers coming and talking about different aspects from the food, to what's in certain products that we should avoid, and certain things that we can be doing to help ourselves, to help the next generation, And it all starts with the mindset.
That's right.
Helping people to change their mind, but not even to change people's mind, but to improve their mind.
Yeah, I mean, this is not even in a lot of people's forefront. It's just going to the supermarket, pick up what you want. As you said, they've got a garden and they'll just print it up with a whole load of flowers, but nothing really functional that they can actually utilize for themselves, health-wise, as well as natural, organic food produce. Straight from the garden onto the plate. They don't realize the benefits of that. They think it's so easy to pick up things in the supermarket, but they're sprayed with so much chemicals and that. They look pretty, they're shiny, they've got and if they're too shiny, they're waxed.
Yeah, because I bought some apples not too long ago, and then I went to the Ankh Wellbeing Center.
Right.
Yeah, and I bought some veggie wash.
Ah, yes, that's good for
Yeah, but the thing about it, I bought the veggie wash. I put the apple in water with the veggie wash.
Yeah.
And I left it in there for over a week. On my
for a week,
windowsill.
you left it in there for?
Why? You know why? I wanted to see if it's going to take the wax off.
Okay.
Yeah?
Did it?
And it didn't. It didn't take the wax off.
Oh.
It didn't. I still scraped it, and I could still see the white wax coming off.
So the veggie wash is not as brilliant as it makes itself out to be, then?
No, the veggie wash might be doing what it's supposed to be doing.
But it doesn't touch. It doesn't touch wax.
It is supposed to touch wax, because there's another demonstration they done with the veggie wash with broccoli. Yeah.
So that again, the phone just broke up.
There's another demonstration they done with broccoli.
Okay, yeah.
They put the broccoli running on the tap water.
Yeah.
And the water was just run off it, the top of it, to the side.
Right. So he wasn't really washing. It was coated with something that.
Yes.
Yeah. So the water just ran off of it.
Yeah, being off the top of it. Yeah. So what they done? They washed it with veggie wax.
Yeah.
Yeah. And after they washed it with the veggie wax, the water just went straight through the broccoli.
Okay. All right. So that's reassured me that the veggie wash does work.
Yeah, it does work.
Yeah.
It does work. But then again, what I'm saying is like on the apple, the wax is so strong.
It's so thick. Yes.
So thick, yeah.
Yeah.
That probably nothing could penetrate it.
Yeah. Because I've seen people put the apples into boiling hot water, and then you can actually see where the wax actually turns white.
Oh right.
Wow.
On the apple, so it's hot water will show up the wax. And there was somebody sent something through on WhatsApp where somebody was just scraping the tip of the apple, and you can see and you can see it. This is after also being put in hot water, not boiling water, but hot water.
Hot water.
And then you rub it or you scrape it, and then you can actually scraping off the coating of the wax, which isn't good. So it just means that if you're going to eat apples, peel the skin.
So you have to peel the skin if you eat it. Yeah, okay then. All right.
Yeah.
All right then. So listen, Brother Lyndon, you know, it's like me. You talk every day now for some reason. No, you know what I mean? We talk regular for the phone. You know?
I appreciate it, Brother Duggie. I appreciate your time and your effort. You put on great events. You have wonderful. I've been listening to you all day from you started this afternoon.
Yeah.
With Vasco.
Yeah,
with Vasco and Jammers. Yeah, I was listening to you. I was in my driveway painting my fence with my wife. So I had the radio out there listening to you.
Okay.
You know, and you got some very, very powerful speakers coming on your radio stations. You know, and on your radio shows. I just thank the Lord that I've got someone else like you who supported me.
Yeah,
I really do appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, in fact, Auntie Jean's got hold of your book right here. When go to it's my book still, but she's got hold of it.
It's brilliant.
And I look through it, you know, and I have to make sure I get the book from her when you know.
You're not going to miss it.
So, I know, Auntie, what do you think about the book? It's well put together,
It's well put together, and you've got lots of information about food, about feet. Also, because I was more interested about the feet, because I'm on my feet a lot. And you know how to care for your feet and protect your feet. I'll tell you, it's amazing. The book is called Lyndon Wishart, The Inspired Diabetic, and I was it type 2 diabetes. It isn't a life sentence. It's an opportunity. So that puts a different edge on it as well. Just the title alone, it just makes you realize that, you know, it's not the end of the world. You know, you can get through this. You know, there's ways of getting through this. And it's like, you've done it, so, you know, somebody else can do it too. You know, but there's certain steps that you have to take, and naturally you've got to be disciplined in taking those steps. And you've got to want to get better. Because there's people who say they want to get better, but they don't want to do what it takes to get better.
Yeah.
You know. So it's the personal discipline that you actually need. So you have to want it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay then. So Lyndon, give out your we got about 15 minutes left. So I want to give out your details, because I know Aunt Jean's got some information she wants to share with the people then before we move off. So give us your details for us, my brother.
Okay, my book's called The Inspired Diabetic. My website is called is like the W's with theinspireddiabetic.com. That's where you can buy my book from. Also, you can buy my book in all good shops as well. If you're in North London and you want to get a quick copy of it, I don't know if you still got it, but there's a gentleman named Brooklyn.
Yeah,
on the junction of Seven.
Yeah, also Seven Sisters, man.
Seven Sisters.
Everybody knows him. He's also at Seven Sisters by the station there. By the
outside West Seven Sisters Station. Yeah. So he's got all of my books there as well. And yeah, these are the best places to get a book from. To be honest with you, the book's doing very well. It's helping a lot of people. I've got a lot of positive feedback from it, and I'm very excited about doing other things. I'm on social media. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I've got a YouTube channel as well, which is Lyndon Wissart. Wissart is spelled W-I-S-S for sugar, A-R-T. Yeah, and also just to let people know that if they want to meet me, I'm doing an event at the Ankh Wellbeing Centre. Yeah, A-N-K-H Wellbeing Centre. It's 10 Adelaide Grove, Shepherd's Bush, London W12 OJJ, and that's going to be next week, Friday, the 3rd of August, from 6:30 to 8:30. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be sharing my story, and I'm going to be talking about certain food aspects of what I done, how I do it. I'm having a question and answer session where people can ask their questions, where a lot of people are more relaxed. You see, when I come onto some radio stations, people don't phone in to ask questions. They don't want people to know the business.
But also you know? They're listening. They're listening to as much information that you're giving out too. So people don't really want to interrupt because they want to hear more. Because when people interrupt, then basically it stops the flow. You hear less at the end. But also sometimes you hear more because there's some questions that people want to ask that other people are sitting there wondering. But
wandering around.
Yeah. But more times people are actually listening to the information that you're actually giving out. Hence, you know, the fewer phone calls sometimes.
I think, yeah. So at the event next week, I'll be talking about what to do next, how to get, and it's like take action. What's your next action plan? You know, what to do next. This is what my main thing is going to be talking about at the evening. If you know someone with diabetes, type 1 or type 2, if you are diabetic, you know, and you want some more information, there'd be a good opportunity to do that. Or if people want a one-on-one consultation with me, they could go to my website. I have what's called a TID program, the Inspired Diabetic Program, where they can sign up for that as well. Yeah, and what people need to know now is if they're listening and they think, okay, what do I need to do next?
What do you need to do next?
For me personally, what I wanted to know is, what after I was reversing my diabetes, what is my goal? What is my next goal? Yeah. So once a person knows what the HbA1c number is, like mine was 92, for example, I want to reduce that. I want to reverse that. What's my next number to go down to? You know, and my next number, I went down to 77. And when I went down to 77, I said, okay, what's my next goal going to be? So my next goal was to go into the 50s. I really was going for the 50s, you know, but I hit 60, you know, and when I hit 60, I was a bit upset because I wanted to be in the 50s.
So it's a continue goals, absolutely.
Yeah, so what is it that you was actually doing? Because I'm actually looking at, you say you've got a diet change. So, you know, eat regular meals, cut down on your sugar and sugary food, drinks.
Yeah, in my situation, what I done, I cut out carbohydrates as much as possible. Well, I cut them down. I cut out potatoes, rice, pasta. I stopped having the fizzy drinks. I stopped snacking in between the digestive biscuits and all these things. I stopped having my ginger beer, my mango juice. You know, that J2O's gone as well, brother Duggie.
And the funny thing is that I like J.M. drink there, you know. So the good thing.
I love it. I'll tell you. This is why at one time in my life, I was drinking so much J2O. I was drinking the mango and passion fruit one. Yeah, okay. And then after a while, it started to give me heartburn. You know? And I couldn't understand why. So I thought, okay, maybe because it is the ingredients. So I went on to the cherry or the raspberry one, the apple and raspberry one, the red one. So I thought, obviously, it's going to be different. So I started to drink that. And when I went into the cash and carry one day, and I saw like a case of 36912 for £5.50. I thought, what? £5 for a case of 12? I was buying a bottle for £2.50.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what?
So
what,
you, that,
so
that's
what you
that's
think,
heaven, isn't
you see,
it?
you
If
see
you
by
love it.
bulk, innit?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So psychologically, this is what we do.
Yeah. Okay then. So listen, we're gonna wind up. We've got literally about 8 minutes left.
Brilliant. Thank you.
So again, give thanks for the reason from my brother.
Yes,
you know.
give thanks.
Give thanks.
Thank you very much for having me, brother Duggie. Appreciate it. Thank you very much, Auntie Jean.
Okay. Then.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay then. So we got about 8 minutes left before the other DJ coming to the house. I know Angie's got some impressive information he wants to share for this weekend coming. So just to recap, that we had a great man, Lyndon I was about to say Lyndon the host, but who was on the line with us. Also we had Vasco. Jammarster was here, but he had to rush off. And also we had Theo. We was touching the whole thing about health. And we had a brother from Cyprus. Angie, we had a brother from Cyprus phoned in.
Yeah, Cyprus.
Yeah, talking about health. He's very good in fuck. He's doing some serious health lectures. So, was able to have a little reasoning and so forth. Anyway, wow. Angie, you go straight into the cheers now.
Yes. Auntie Jean's African Culture Market and the Black Fathers Support Group are putting on the second annual fundraiser for the Garvey Village Project. For those who don't know what the Garvey Village Project is, quickly I'm going to say the Garvey Village Project is a community centre that I've gone together with some other members of the community to set up so that we can have a base for all the needs that and put them underneath one roof. Basically, it's going to be a base for natural healers. So all natural healers who's actually registered will have 1 day a week, but they'll come to the Garvey Village and actually have surgery there. So if you want from a massage to Reiki to herbal treatment to any kind of treatment from all different natural doctors, natural health doctors from all walks of life, will have at least 1 day or a couple of hours at this centre. So they'll have a register where you can look down and say, well, I want to see this doctor or that doctor, and you actually can book appointments. So you have a choice. Also a base for homeschooling, so that there's a space for a classroom at least 2 or 3 times a week where we can get an historian or a scientist or somebody who can come down and actually teach the homeschoolers, the homeschooling students, something a little bit more than what the parent or can actually offer. So that has always been there. Also training programs for not only for the young and the old, but also for young youths coming out of prison and coming out from school. Because especially for the youths coming out of school as well as prison, they feel that they've got no hope. They come out of school feeling that is it. The school is so good at programming our children to thinking that there is no hope for them. Plus, when you go out there's no jobs, etc. The training programs is to give the children or give the young youths skills that they can actually start their own businesses and do their own thing, and open up their minds again, because the schools and the prison closes our youth's mind into thinking that there's only one way to do things to get by, but there is other means and there is other alternatives, and the Garvey Village is a place that we're going to open up that creativity back in our youths so that they can pass that on down to their other children as well. Also, it's going to be a base for information, so anybody's got any businesses from plumbing to different centres, different groups, we'll have their details, so somebody can come and says, well, I want a 24-hour plumber, or I want to know where a cabling is. How do I get in contact with the Dogan Society? Then basically we will be able to have that information to hand out, you see. So anyway, this is going to be an event for Saturday, this Saturday the 28th of July, between 2 o'clock and 9. It's going to be based at St Andrew's Community Centre, which is in Brockley, South East London. So it's going to be SE4 2SA. There is a £5 donation at the door. This fundraiser is going to be in a form of a concert. So it's a family concert. So we have artists in the name of Joy Mack. Sorry, I got stuck in my throat. Lorna Marshall, Jessica Zevalana. We have Stella B and Nat Nye, who are going to be actually hosting, and also they're going to be doing a bit of spoken word as well. We've got a young brother called Radical, a young sister called Solomon, and we have our, I wouldn't say elder, but we said a veteran, did you say? Well seasoned, Barry Dredd. And we have another young Lewis John, and we have another young Tashay Makeda. Just to name but a few of the actual artists. Also, those who do know, Dr. Abu is going to do a couple of his songs. Okay. We're going to hoping that he's going to be proud to be black. That would be nice if you can do that one. Okay. And
he sings.
He sings as well. Yeah, he sings.
I've never seen him perform though.
No, but yeah, but it'd be good to see, wouldn't it? Yeah, we hear his music, but you don't actually see him live. Okay, also, we have Burning Poet and also the saxophonist Wadada. They do a very good double act, and also Burning Poet does some spoken word by himself, and also Wadada does, you know, a solo with a saxophone, which is very good. We have a sister called Nikki coming down from Nottingham. She's a puppeteer storyteller. And she also does the poems, and also does it to the beat of the drum too. So that is very kind of interesting. Also, we have a brother called Morris Thompson, who is a caricature artist, who can, you know, he can draw you, but kind of cartoonize you as well, you know, if you want that. So he's going to be there. A brother called Kalon, and another veteran, Tahuti Re-Naturalite. And also we have a brother called Japrento Youth. Those are the artists that we have. Also, we're going to have a few little presentations in between, I think from the Dogon Society, and also Sister Shanice. She's just come back from Zimbabwe. She's got a trip going to Zimbabwe in October. Okay, so she went there for 6 weeks just to pave the way to make sure that the hotels are in place. Okay. You know, the coaches are there, everything is sorted out. So you're going to hear a sort of like a quick date up or run up of what she's done so far and what is to come. So watch this space this Saturday, the 28th of July, at St Andrew's Community Centre, SE4 2BE, situated on the corner of Brockley Road and Wickham Road. When you see the Esso petrol station and the car wash, you know exactly where you are. That is the spot. So any information for stalls, which is very few, please give me a call on 07961 886032. I shall repeat, 07961 886032. Thank you, Dougie. How are we doing for time?
Yeah, we've got exactly a minute left, so I'm just waiting for the brethren to come in still. But just to let people know, should have mentioned this, that anybody who wants to get a website design free, all you have to do is ring this number here, 0208 521 6297. I repeat, 0208 521 6297. Just ring them. They're called Crazy Copy. Open 24 hours, and in fact I've been doing some work with them anyway. So over the next few weeks, definitely be trying to encourage people that if you want to get this the website design, and it's for free, please give them a call.
It's for free?
Yes, it says here for free. So just call the number. I know the people them. They came to the last event we had, and we're working with them closely.
I think I'll give them a call. I'm going to take a note of that number.
Yeah. So that number.
That's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. Just mention my name, and we're working quite closely now. Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yep. Okay then. So what we're gonna do now? We're going to just waiting for the DJ to come in upon us, and in fact they've got an event. I want to give this event at first, my sister. This event for Saturday, this Saturday.
Okay, is this Saturday the 8th? No, it's 18th of August.
18th of August.
It's the 18th of August.
Where's the one for this? Is there a flyer for this? Sorry, beg your pardon. This was the flyer. There's an event happening this Saturday at the West Indian Culture Centre. I'm just looking for the flyer.
Oh, with I know you're talking with Brother Minka. Is
Minka?
Part of that. Brother Minka is about Cynthia Jarrett. Is it the anniversary?
No, not that one. There's one at the Culture Centre. But anyway, when the next speaker, DJ come, I can't find the flyer. But there's an event happening this Saturday at the West Indian Culture Centre. I think it's 31st anniversary. And there'll be music and it's a fundraiser. I think it's £10 for a ticket. But you will definitely hear more information when the brother comes. Okay, though. So I'm going to sign out. Anjin, do you want to say your goodbyes?
I'll say goodbye, good night, and happy rising for tomorrow for all, one and all. And hope tomorrow is a better day than today, and the day after that is a better day, and a better day, and a better day.
Okay, then. It don't be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Peace.
Is it
We're cool? Are we going a little bit? Okay, then. All right, no problem. So we got. The management said we can go on a little bit, so we're gonna go beat down some more information. You know what I mean? So who's gonna play something?
Can you put something on first?
All right. So what's the time when it leak like what 8 there was no collective energy there.
I don't think so.
And there was no collective energy in Florida.
I don't think so.
And none on the side of Cuba.
I don't think so.
And that sound pious to you?
No, because I tell you what, right? It's the oneness and the
so what happened to Gilbert now? What happened to Gilbert?
Huh?
What happened to Gilbert now? When Gilbert mashed up the whole of Jamaica the other day.
We needed an awakening.
You see? All right, you see? All right.
I wasn't here to blow it away.
No. All right. But I explain, all right.
Everybody in Jamaica thought it was a coffee.
Stick up in. This is my little problem with these ideas now. One, if the thing leak, a man say, well, people never did a prayer enough. But if it don't leak, people say, sister, we did a prayer hard enough.
But it could be so, though.
No, I never said couldn't be so. I am saying that's the problem I have with the thing.
Would he get complacent in Gilbert?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, but absolute reserve because nobody thought it would come.
No.
And that is why that
nobody prayed.
Energy wasn't there. That critical mass wasn't formed to repel.
What happened to the number one?
It would come.
All right, so what happened to the killing they go on at Jamaica when nobody else, nowhere else in the world it go on so? How the religious mind work?
Well, the religious mind say now that Christ, God give us free will,
No, me know, but what I say now, in terms of the people them who are saying them stop the storm. Why these people?
We can't have that collective energy.
That collective energy now to stop the crime.
Maybe we're just not tapping into.
But I'd prefer you stop the crime than the storm.
But we need the politicians.
I'd prefer. You stop the crime, then stop the storm.
We need the politicians.
No, I see you because at least the storm.
That's right.
The storm a mash up place, the gun that kill people. I prefer you stop the crime than to stop the storm. Trust me.
Well, maybe what we need to do collectively, right, is put that energy into it. And I tell you what, right, the people who lead our nations, right, is a very important set of people, because they are put in a place, you understand, of authority, right? And, if we want to be truthful, it is some of the same politicians who give the same little man a gun.
Yeah, but they have a open position, don't give nobody no gun, and they use them get it themselves.
Absolutely.
They come down in a barrel on TV.
Yeah, but that seed was planted 30 years ago.
Yeah. No, we not say no, we just say, like, I could put the table on the table so now. A lot of the gun them are coming in the country. No politician I bring them.
No.
A drugs man I bring them in.
Absolutely.
Get a man who have contacts of foreign, who have certain like a barrel around now. I don't know politician.
Yeah, but it's where
the politician them gun, they don't turn legal gun now.
Where it started.
It started the politician them. It started the politician.
Okay. Greetings. We found the flyer and it's the West Indian Cultural Centre. It's the 31st year anniversary. Saturday the 28th of July at the West Indian Cultural Centre, 9 Clarendon Road, London N80DD. And this is a charity event. It's got a 3-course meal by Fusion Catering, live entertainment, fashion show, guest speakers, performing live, Jati, Prince Reuben, First Errol Hines, Princess Lynn, and more. Sounds by King Josiah, sound and crew DJs Trevor, Russ Sax, DJ Flip, DJ Fresh, Blessed Radio FM crew, Selector Russ Dragon, Russ Ringo Moses, was it Raggedy, sorry, Raggedy. Special guest, Donovan King J. Entry £8 before midnight, £10 thereafter. For more information, give a call to, I've got 2 numbers here, so give a call to 07931 788488. I shall repeat, 079 317 88488. And the second number is 0793 143 1835. I shall repeat, 07931 431 835. So those are the numbers to call for more information. And it's sponsored by the Flying Squad and also Bless FM Radio. So, brothers and sisters, this is one not to be missed. So you've got something in the daytime in southeast London, and you've got something in the evening in North London. So I shall say my farewells. Also, there is the Emancipation Day Reparations March, which is the 1st of August. The meeting for 11 o'clock at the Windrush Square in Brixton. We're marching from the Windrush Square to Parliament Square, and they'll have a talk at the square, and they'll return back to the Windrush Square for some more talks and entertainment. So that is the one not to be missed. So if you're for reparations, and hopefully you've signed the petition, so the more people that sign is the more the further we'll get with the reparations.
Yeah, and it's been up some momentum. Just to let people know that Jati will be here, and Ras Dragon will be interviewing Jati right here later on. It starts about 11 o'clock, Dragon? That's right. 11 o'clock. So tune in. You know, Jati, Jati is a big time artist still, you know, well known artist. So he's going to be here, and it's going to be an exclusive interview with Dragon, with Jati. Okay, then, so we're going to take it away now, and very shortly we're going to join by the great man, Dragon.
Good night, everyone.
Isn't it possible that because we keep God alive, the devil will always be alive? So in order to eliminate the devil, would have eliminate God?
Say that again.
All right, listen to me. Listen to me.
That's emulated.
All right, the reason.
That's yourself.
No, wait. There's a notion in Western civilization that you have God out there, so, and you have the devil out there, so. So anything bad happen, you blame God. Good happen, you blame God. Anything bad happen, you blame devil. All right, so what may I say? Isn't this possible that in order to eliminate the devil, we would have to eliminate God? Because it is the devil, if it is the devil that is keeping God alive, or God that is keeping the devil alive. Well, so because we know that there's a negative and a positive. You can't have a positive without a negative, and you can't have a negative without a positive. So therefore, it is best in the human psyche to eliminate these two enemies of the human psyche.
All right.
Oh, you see that? Yeah.
How I see this as a Buddhist, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't see the devil or God as two things out there.
Yeah, I know I'm talking about Buddhism, you know. I'm saying the Western, that's what I say, the Western mindset create a devil and a God out there. So I am saying to you now.
But that's an illusion.
No, we're not talking about illusion or not, you know.
Only Christian could answer that.
All right, so make me ask your sister.
I'm a Christian.
Make you ask your sister. What do you think about what I just said a while ago?
Think about it, right? Sit down.
I still want my